It's time for Intelligent Machines. Jeff and Paris are here, and our guest this hour is Craig Maud. He's a photographer, a walker, he likes to take walks, lives in Japan, and loves AI. AI and the humanities, next on Intelligent Machines.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is Intelligent Machines with Paris Martineau and Jeff Jarvis. Episode 866, recorded Wednesday, April 15th, 2026. I'm Bonkers for Yonkers. It's time for Intelligent Machines, the show where we cover the latest in AI and robotics and all the doodads, gimcracks, and goo-gaws around you. Speaking of goo-gaws, here's Paris Martineau, who did not find the appropriate goo-gaw to connect your headphones. She was looking.
We spent a good 15 minutes at the beginning of this thing looking for a goo-gaw, G-Jad, Jim Jop that both Jeff, Leo, Benito, and seemingly everybody has. I do have one as well. The jack to connect a big headphone jack to a little, but I can't find it.
Yeah.
I can find this dual-ended tiny headphone jack that I've just realized when I stretch it like this smells foul and chemically in a way that I'm sure resulted in losing some brain cells.
Do not sniff the headphone jack. I think that they taught us that in DJ school. I do believe.
The technical term is a big to small, a small to big.
Small to big.
That's the technical term. Yeah, I was looking for a big to small, and I've only got a small.
A big outie and a little innie, or something like that. Anyway, hello, Paris, investigative journalist at Consumer Reports, who was on Deadline, right?
I was.
Are you still on Deadline?
In a way, but in a different way.
I guess the virtue of Deadline is it doesn't last.
Yes, I hit that deadline that I was talking about last week. And while I was on that deadline, I found out that I was up for a Deadline Club award, which is kind of fun.
What? Congratulations.
Muzzle.
I mean, I'll find out whether I actually win next month, but I'm one of the finalists.
Before we go any farther, let me introduce your professor of journalistic innovation, emeritus at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York, Mr. Jeff Jarvis, professor.
He's got
the Guga. So tell us about this Deadline Award. Is this a big deal, Jeff?
Yes, absolutely. It's the Oscars of New York journalism.
Oh,
yeah.
Fantastic,
I'm up
Paris. For the lead?
And an award magazine investigative reporting. It's part of a package called Consumer Reports Protecting Food Safety in America that features my work and two of my colleagues.
Hey.
That you're a shoo-in. That should be a no-brainer.
Don't jinx her.
We'll find out come May 14th.
Is there a awards ceremony?
There is.
A dinner, I don't doubt.
Of course.
How fun.
It'll be very fun.
Do you have a tuxedo for the occasion?
I should get a tuxedo.
You should. You could wear that plaid
maybe it'll
suit.
be hot. Maybe I should wear that plaid suit.
Somebody told me, actually, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelo on Monday told me it was going to be 88 degrees in New York City today.
It is 87 right now. My AC unit is blasting. And frankly, I need to get my second AC unit in my window reinstalled.
It's not even possible. It's April.
My wife just scolded me for opening the bathroom window.
Well, she came in through the bathroom window.
Yeah.
That really landed. Neither of you know the Beatles, apparently. Okay, never mind. It's a Beatles song. I'm sorry I brought it up. We're going to kick things off today on Intelligent Machines by talking to somebody I've been an admirer of for a long time, especially because of his attitude towards life. Craig Maud is our guest, a photographer, a writer, a walker. He lives in Japan, so it's early morning for him. Craig, welcome to Intelligent Machines. It's good to see you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah. The reason I was interested, our show's about AI, and a lot of what we talk about and the people we talk to are geeks, but you're a humanist who loves AI and loves technology and uses technology. And so I think that makes it a kind of an interesting conversation. I guess, though, if you're a photographer, that counts a little bit because that's absolutely, these days anyway, a technological hobby or business.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think, photography has always been technological.
Right.
Photography has always been the kind of the domain of mega dorks. I mean, that was sort of I mean, it's like, it's always been so dorky. And, there was an element of gatekeeping too with that dorkery.
Right.
Where, until the late 90s, early 2000s, when Sony started making potentially usable in professional settings digital cameras, that the idea of like being in the dark room and knowing the magic of chemicals, that was really a sort of way of protecting a domain, and I think photographers were really freaked out when digital photography happened, because it was sort of a loss of that control, or that loss of that kind of like mage in the high castle sort of situation that for so long was typifying of photography.
Yeah, suddenly everybody was there.
Yeah,
like when AOL added the internet. It's welcome to the unwashed masses.
Yeah, exactly. What was it? The Eternal September?
Yeah, that's what they called it.
Yeah.
Craig, as you might know, is a writer. He's written for everybody, Wired and Atlantic, and he's got 2 books. And he's actually kind of got an interesting lifestyle, because you support yourself with the thing you call, what is it, special members?
Special projects.
Special projects, which is a membership. It's like a Patreon, but it's your own thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's run. The membership component is handled by Memberful.
Okay, we use Memberful also. I like Memberful. That's a Patreon company. Yeah.
Exactly, owned by Patreon, and Patreon's actually been a pretty hands-off steward of the, of the whole thing. In a sense, Memberful was acquired, I think, maybe 6 years ago, and it's.
Right. You wouldn't know it's a Patreon company, which is
you
funny.
would not know.
Yeah.
So I use it simply as kind of an interface in the back end to handle subscribing, unsubscribing, dealing with billing, which goes through Stripe anyway, and then everything else I've kind of scaffolded on top of as my own. So I'm not actually using any of Memberful's blogging components or podcast components or anything like that.
We use them to hook up people to Discord, which is very handy. So we have a Discord channel. People are watching right now on our Discord channel. And we use them because it makes it easy for us to have a dedicated podcast feeds for members. But you're right. I mean, it's really mostly about getting kind of the bookkeeping out of the way.
Yeah, the bookkeeping and just having some third party with a little bit of responsibility there. But the Discord thing is funny. I had for years members clamoring for a Discord, and then members making sort of unofficial Discords. And I finally made one about 2.5 years ago, and I really didn't like it. It just felt to me like way too much effort to maintain.
It's overdone. Yeah,
it's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot, and then the software itself was a lot, and boosting and all this. So last year, the first thing I did with Claude Code was I made my own Twitter, and that has become our members' sort of like Discord chat, and it's wonderful. It's so good. It's such a lovely environment. It's actually shocking how great it's been. And I check it every day. We have a whole community of people who are in there every day, and the fact that it's not real time, I think, is really important. So you don't feel that like chat room element. Of course, you can't do things like this where you can live stream and have a conversation around.
We used for years IRC, and I still am a big fan of IRC, but because there was no easy way to make it a members only thing, we just use Discord by default because that's what Memberful supports. I would far prefer to use IRC without all of the bells and whistles. It's much simpler. So this is why I wanted to have you on Intelligent Machines, because here you are. You did major in digital media, right? I mean, you're not an alien to technology. You're not.
No. I mean, I grew up. I started programming when I was 9 or 10, and I was running a BBS,
neat,
and all that stuff. So, and my degree is fine arts and computer science. So, it's.
But that's what's great. It's this. It seems rare that you get this kind of what Steve Jobs called the intersection of technology and humanities. But I think that's maybe the most interesting intersection of all. We don't want to become machines. The machines should only be in service of us as humans. Right. So I think that I really appreciate how you've stayed a humanist, and yet are you're, as you say in your piece, you're on your new website, software bonkers. When did you start using Claude Code?
A year ago, right when it came out. Well, I remember, you'd kind of use ChatGPT to get snippets and stuff.
Yeah, and you'd paste it in.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. And then Claude Code came out, and it was like, wow, this is pretty. This is some sort of next level instantiation of it. But it's like today using Claude Code, and I use it with all these skills and plugins and stuff now. And a year ago, it looks positively archaic.
Well, November. I trace it to November 24th, 2025, the release of Opus 4.6.
Yeah,
something happened.
Yeah.
It could do stuff.
It could do stuff, and then also the tooling around it, I think, got better. I was hanging out with Kevin Rose a month ago or so, and we were just going through his workflow, and he's just completely like 1,000,000,000% AI, sort of like maximalist. He's got like 10 agents going at every moment doing 100 million different things. But I was looking at kind of what he was using. I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. Actually, until a month ago, I was still of this mindset that I needed to look at all of the code that was being changed, and I needed to understand every line that was being implemented by Claude. And something for me in the last month or 6 weeks, I've shifted where now I'm just like, I don't need to see anything. I don't care. And that
you don't care, or you trust it. So actually, that's a really important distinction. Yeah. Because it may not be the best code. You don't care.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't care in the sense of like the speed at which now we can produce things, and I know, and it just keeps getting better. And so I kind of see a lot of what I'm working on today as almost like throwaway code. And
it's disposable. It's disposable. That's what
Harper
Reed said. He said, "It doesn't matter. You throw it away."
Yeah, exactly. Like make the MVP, see how things feel, and then if it needs to be really beefed up and given the full work over, then great. Okay, go back with it. But in 6 months, the tools are going to be so much better anyway. So it's this weird. And I wrote another piece that I published last week, just talking about this sort of like the loss of purpose that is sort of off in the horizon. That's kind of you see all these eulogies for coding every day. Even today, there was some big post about Vim and the death of coding because of Vim is
I'm an Emacs guy. You can take your Vim. I don't care.
but
I understand that there is that sense that we had something. We were wizards.
Yeah,
and we had this is the same thing that you just talked about with photography.
Exactly.
We had the keys to the kingdom, and now, God damn it, everybody can do it, and we're not special.
Yeah. It is. It's very strange. But I like. Has there ever been a technological shift that's happened so quickly? I think to me that's the big shock. Is to go from a year ago, people going, oh yeah, you can kind of code and you can copy and paste, to now, folks just eulogizing programming every day. Another person saying it's done. 40 years I spent.
Do you agree with that
skill set?
Is it the end of coding?
I do think. Well, look, I think coding. If we're talking about mass-produced code, I think it's been dead for a long time. Like, I think that the idea of craft encoding for most commercial software, like we're in Zoom right now. This to me, I only ever open Zoom to do stuff like this, and every time I do, I'm just in shock. Like this is absolutely the worst piece of software that I've opened on my computer in weeks. And so,
I'm sorry. I apologize for making you use this.
We should make our own. Like, this is a great, like,
you could, couldn't you?
We could easily do better than this. I mean, come on, someone out there, you could do better than this. But like, look, okay, if this is like state of the art human-made software, this is terrible. This is not winning to begin with. For me, I use stuff like Things, and NeoVim or what, like these other pieces of software, like MimeStream is an email program I use, and these all feel like genuinely crafted, like craftsmanship made pieces of software. Yeah. And that, I think, even with LLMs and Claude Code assisted whatever programming, that's not going to go away.
No,
you're going to have people that can use this stuff as a sort of like superpower and be able to do more in a crafty way. And you're going to have more people dump and junk out into the world too. And the analog with photography is really astounding, actually.
Yes, because there will still be people who will use a Leica with a rangefinder and be able to take one picture every 4 minutes. And there will be people who will, right? Well, people will be taking 1,000 pictures a second with their burst mode on their iPhone.
Yeah.
It's the death of maybe industrial software, but it will never be the death of the artisan There are, because you know why I think humans create, and we want to create, and we enjoy creating, and coding is another form of creation. That's like woodwork or any other kind of craft.
Absolutely.
So you said in this piece your first Claude Code project was to rebuild Twitter.
Yeah, as I thought it should be.
So it's obvious what's wrong with Twitter today, but even the pre-Elon Twitter, you weren't happy with?
No, it always made me uncomfortable. Twitter. I mean, even the name, the first name, it was TWTTR, right? Even that gave me anxiety.
This, by the way, its 20th anniversary of the first tweet was Monday.
Yeah,
so it's 20 years ago.
Just setting up our Twitter.
Twitter began. So what was wrong with Twitter, and how did you fix it?
There was a lot that was wrong. First of all, I think there's a certain generation of online people that think everything should be archived, and I think that's just like that's a wrong narrative. And one of the I hang out with Kevin Kelly a lot. We go on walks and kind of do these sort of like roundtable discussions. And one of my heresies that I hold, and I kind of, sort of a little bit facetiously, is that I think the entire internet every 2 weeks should be entirely deleted.
Wow.
I think just
don't tell Brewster Kahle that. Wow.
Well, you could by theories, like if you did that, then people would be, archiving what needed to be archived. You could print out what needed to be printed out, all these things. But every 2 weeks, you get this kind of completely clean slate.
Clean slate.
So,
yes.
Yeah, clean slate. That's the idea. And
that's a good point, because nobody really wants to see what they tweeted 12 years ago. That's embarrassing.
It's only bad things, and
it's only bad. It's not good.
It's like there's no.
If it were that good, you would have saved it, right?
Yeah, exactly. No one's ever been like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy I have that tweet from 12 years ago." Someone's quoting for me. That can only.
So you think it should be Swedish death cleaning with your social?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, Maria Kondo. Only
this
things
does not
that
spark joy.
Spark joy.
Yes.
So anyway. Twitter, I think should have been doing that. I love things that disappear, ephemerality online, and so that was it's like all the posts should be disappearing. A limit to how much you can post every day, so you're actually just thinking about what you're putting up there, how you're engaging with it.
There are people, including the President of the United States, who post hundreds of times a day. It's like, don't you have something to do?
Well, it's the same reason why, like, should we be able to do sports betting 24 hours a day in our pocket? Probably not. No. I mean, there's just certain things our monkey brains are not wired for. So to be able to pull a lever to get dopamine at any moment of the day.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
And most sort of maliciously every moment of the night, in the middle of the night, 3 a.m. I think that's bad. And then, it's again non-algorithmic, because the nature of my community is it's not 400 million people tweeting. Right. You can just keep a reverse cron timeline, so you're not doing algorithmic stuff. And I don't know, just that to me it was very simple how it could work. And
by the way, I should mention this is real. This is your special projects group.
And it's called, and the version of Twitter I made is called The Good Place. And when you add it to your home screen on the iPhone, the icon is Ted Danson's head. So it's...
you have to say things like, "Oh, fudge," and shut the front door.
I should add a function that rewrites everybody's swears.
This is interesting. All images appear in 1-bit black and white.
Yeah.
And then you click on it and you can see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that so they don't suck you in?
Yeah, just, I don't know. It's just like kind of an aesthetic, little bit of playfulness.
Yeah, and I really like this, which is no algorithm. It's just in order.
Yeah. I almost feel guilty being a Twitter user around 2010, 2011, 2012, because, you'll remember everybody was on it. Everyone who's a writer, journalist, and you could just connect with people, and it didn't have the algorithm making stuff sort of like inviting or rewarding toxicity or this kind of the virality garbage that you see, the slop you see everywhere now. And it was, you could really build up an audience and sort of a career. You could connect with everyone. My audience was hugely built up on Twitter. You'd write an essay, you'd put it up there, you'd have 500 more people subscribe to your newsletter. The next day. It was kind of wild. It was sort of a heyday of that stuff.
Did you write this before Opus 4.6? You wrote this last year?
I wrote this last year. Yeah. It was pretty. But this is the thing: is with open source software kind of being the corpus for all this, all the models training for programming. None of these pieces are unique, and so you can kind of most software is not in reinventing the wheel. It's about putting different pieces together.
Well, that's why Claude Code's good at it, right? Because it's seen it.
Exactly.
It's seen the code. When I wrote a newsreader, and it immediately knew what a newsreader should be and what it should have, because it's seen 100 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, I had to tell it, no, I don't want star articles. I had to tell it not to do some things that most feed readers do, because the reason I wanted a custom feed reader is to strip it down to just the things I really needed for speed.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to write The Good Place?
Probably about a week, maybe, kind of on and off.
I'm kind of amazed. And it runs well. It's reliable and.
Oh, it's incredible! Yeah, it's just very simple. Yeah, it's so.
You
good.
wrote exactly what you wanted. This is the thing that I think is so empowering. Is software can be personal.
Well, Robin Sloan has a great essay called "Software is a home cooked meal."
Yeah,
and so this idea that you can kind of make the perfect meal you want in the form of software. And this is where you bump into the issues with the App Store on Apple, is like it creates so much friction between wanting to do this stuff and putting it out there and getting it out there and having people use it, in the sense you need a developer account, you need to, submit it needs to be approved, all this stuff. Whereas like when you're building things like I built with The Good Place, it's just on a DigitalOcean server, and it's locked down and everything. And I use Flask. It's web-based, but you use these Python frameworks, and its databases now are so good and so lightweight. SQLite is amazing, so you don't need to spin up separate servers for that. Anyway, there's a lot that you can do very quickly when you work off the web, and I do wonder if this is going to be a hindrance for sort of iOS sort of growth going forward, is not being able to deploy as quickly as you want to, being a thing that keeps people, out of that.
I was really hopeful for progressive web apps, PWAs, and I was very disappointed that Apple decided not to really fully support it. Even Firefox kind of turned away from it, because I do think that there is an opportunity. If it's a web technology is so well understood and so easy to implement, you don't really need standalone apps for most things if you have the right services in the background, have the right tools that can remember where you were and things like that.
That's true.
So this is all. If you become, I'm going to join, because I want to see this new better Twitter for sure. I bet it's a great community too. I think it's always great to have a community that people have to pay, even if it's just a little bit.
Yeah, well, I agree. I mean, that is sort of one of the things that makes it good, is that it's the unwashed masses aren't allowed in. It isn't Ellis Island. It is, but it's also not.
You're such an elitist.
It's also not Epstein Island. So it's
yes, there are all kinds of islands, aren't there? $10 a year, $100 a yearly, or become a lifetime member and surprise the heck out of Craig and scare me, he says.
Yeah, a little bit. I've had so many lifetime members that
that's awesome.
Yeah, so many that I feel like I should probably raise that price.
This is your sole support?
Yeah, this and book sales.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
you're living the life.
Well, I was really lucky in that I found product market fit between the membership program and selling books.
Yeah.
Because it turns out, so I I do these fine art editions of books. I had a book come out with Random House last year as well. Things Become Other Things, and then I have these fine art editions that you can see there on the that are basically $100 a book. Limited editions, signed, blah blah blah, printed and bound in Japan. And I've worked in the publishing industry in physical books for decades, and the idea of selling a lot of $100 books is just not something anyone thinks about or is able to do. And so when I first started producing these, which was about 6 years ago now, I produced 1,000 copies of this $100 book, and I thought, okay, it'll take me like 2 years to sell all these, and we sold out in 2 days.
Wow!
And I did this thing where if you paid $100 to join the membership program, you got $40 off the book. So people were landing on this buy page. They saw a $100 book and they thought, okay, well, I can pay $100 to get the book, or I can pay $100 to join the membership program plus $60 to get the book. So I'll pay $160 for the book. And the conversion rate of people who weren't members already was something like 30%, which is just an insane number to get people to convert over to joining a membership program. So I've just kept that going. We've reprinted that first book 6 times.
Wow.
I've had 2 other books come out. This Random House book has sold really. The Random House book has gone back to print twice. So I've been really, really lucky.
That's so great.
Yeah, the 2 of those together work really well.
What are you working on now with Claude?
Well, it's tax season. So
yes. You're writing your own tax software? Now that's nuts.
Well, it turns out it's not as hard as it looks. It's like,
well, I guess you can look up all the information is public.
Yeah, so
right, all the tax tables and everything.
Well, and I'm in this.
Are you worried about hallucination?
Well, no, because it's verifiable, and I still employ accountants. So
okay.
It's like,
okay.
So I'm in this a really annoying position of being an American who doesn't live in America, meaning that you still have to file taxes back in America and in the place where you're domiciled. So I'm in Japan, so I'm filing in Japan, and then I have to file in America the next month, and it's really exhausting. And I have bank accounts in both countries and reconciling stuff, and there's literally no accounting software out there that will handle the Japan side of things and the US side of things that will help me track transfers between countries, because you transfer $1,000 over and it takes a day and the exchange rates fluctuate, and so the software can't match it precisely, and it's in yen over here and it's dollars over here. Well, guess what? Claude is really smart at this stuff, and you can tell it to have fuzzy matching around these things, and you can say, these are how I do my transfers, and you can build a piece of accounting software with this reconciliation mind in the background that is just able to do a 10 times better job than you could ever do, 10 times faster. And then of course you go through and you can check everything, and you can update stuff that needs to be fixed or whatever. But the general kind of reconciliation of cross-border accounting has gone from being almost impossible. And this concoction of, I was using Google spreadsheets and then Google script in Google Sheets to convert stuff, between dollars and yen, and then export that, and then give one accountant this spreadsheet and another accountant this other spreadsheet. And I basically built for me, what is the perfect accounting software. And at the end of the day, I push one button, it makes a zip file. It's got all the 1099s and all the other PDFs and forms, medical records, medical receipts, other receipts. Everything is itemized perfectly. It knows the scheduling for American expenses versus Japanese expenses. It's looking at depreciations over the years. I can feed in, last year's tax report or tax filings and say, this is how we classify things, and it goes, okay, great, now I see that. Let me get you set up for this year, so you're doing the same things. It's wild. And it actually, since I published the Software Bonkers thing where I talk about this, a representative from Quicken reached out to me and wanted to do a meeting. So
we want to buy TaxBot 2000.
I mean,
so you say this took you 5 days to write?
Yeah.
I mean, do you think anybody could do this, Craig? It seems to me I'm pretty proficient. I don't know if I would try to tackle this. Was it iterative where you go, okay, now let's, we got to figure out how to do this conversion. Was it like that? Was it a back and forth process?
A lot of back and forth. It wasn't a one shot. Yeah. And I had, perfect software, but it was, part of the thing about working with models like Claude is it does require, and it forces you to really think through what it is you're looking for. So you write specs, essentially.
Do you start in plan? You start in plan mode then?
I start in plan mode, in brainstorm mode. Actually, I use.
Do you use what tools do you use in Claude? Because there's many different things you can do. Superpowers and GSD and. Yeah,
I know Gary. I think Gary Tan has a set of tools.
Use Gary Tan's thing? Yeah. Well, he's the YC president. He put out a
YC Pres. Yeah, he's got his set of tools. But I've been using Every. There's a company called Every that put out a set of skills that
they're just skills. They're just prompts mostly, right?
So
with a few
it's
bash commands.
You do brainstorm, and then you do planning, and then you do working, and I found it's worked really, really well. So you go into brainstorming, and you start with saying, hey, here's a folder, literally just running it in my tax folder and saying, hey, here's a folder with all of my tax stuff. Take a peek at this. We're looking to help me understand Every, Every.
Every.
Yeah, Every, I think, is the name of the company.
The problem is it's such a generic word. I'm having a hard time.
There you go.
Is it everything Claude Code? No, it's not. It's not.
There's a set of...
You're seeing my screen, by the way. If you're tired of seeing my screen, there's a tab in the upper left of your Zoom that's cleverly hidden, meeting. And you can click that, and then you won't see my screen as I...
Oh, wow, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't realize we had not told you that. That's I apologize.
Distracting.
It's much less distracting because I'm always doing... So, because I'm very interested in... there it is. Every Inc. Compound Engineering plugin. Is that
That's the one. Compound Engineering, exactly.
All right, I'm going to try it. You know what I found, Craig, is I have been erasing my Claude Code setup every once in a while to start from scratch because it's moving so fast that a lot of the things I do with skills now are built into Claude, and
yep,
it's a moving target.
No, exactly.
Do you use the Claude Max subscription? What is your Claude subscription?
Yeah. I switched to the $200 a month. Which when they announced it, I was like, I'm never going to pay $200 a month for anything. Yeah, who's going to do that? And now I'm like, at least it's not $500 because I'd probably spend that as well. I mean, I'm getting so much value out of it.
Yes, you just saved that much in some tax program subscriptions. It pays for itself.
Easily, yeah. I mean, now if I could only reprogram all of Adobe software, that would be even better.
Well, how many hours in a day are there? So I wanted to ask you. You live in Japan. You've lived there for 2 decades now.
Yeah.
What are the attitudes towards AI like in Japan? I've heard that in other countries, here in the United States, about 50% of the public thinks it's the devil incarnate.
Okay.
And the other 50% cannot stop using it. And keep telling the other half, what are you crazy? This stuff's great. And there are a lot of people say, oh, no, it uses too much energy. It's going to kill us someday. I mean, people are very afraid of it. What's the attitude in Japan?
Japan I don't think is quite as hyperbolic as the U.S. in general. It's a little more relaxed. I mean, this is also a country that's still... faxes stuff. You can order bentos from faxing. There's a guy, there's a jazz cafe I like to visit, and the only way to find out if it's going to be open is if you fax them.
I love that. So they invented the fax because they had to. Yeah, that's hysterical. They still fax.
They're legally obligated to keep faxing because they made it. But the AI thing is funny because there's been electoral candidates who've been running on the platform of I'm going to use AI to make all my decisions. So like an AI mayor, things like that have been popping up, and people seem to be like weirdly kind of into it. So yeah, it's not quite in the U.S. even today that eulogy for Vim or whatever I was reading earlier. The crux of it is this is terrible. It creates slop. It's bad for the environment. It's using up too much energy. It's using up too much water. All this stuff that I think are, on one hand, very fair arguments, but these are also arguments that everyone made towards crypto. And the thing that ended up destroying NFTs or stopping NFTs wasn't the fact that it was ecologically damaging. It was because they were essentially useless. And so, I mean, that's
that's a good reason.
That's how stuff doesn't get used anymore. And right. I think that AI is proving to be so profoundly useful.
Yeah.
That we're just going to have to figure out the energy stuff. No one's going to stop using this. You can't walk back on this. So I find those hardliners a little bit overly disconnected from reality, and almost that's someone you just can't have a conversation with at this point. I mean, we should have, you read books like The Making of the Atomic Bomb, you look at the history of atomic energy and stuff like that, and we should just have better energy programs. We should just have cleaner energy, more renewables. I mean, it's like the energy question, any way we can accelerate getting better energy out in the world and moving us away from natural gas and coal and all this stuff is something we should be celebrating, and I think this is part of that acceleration. Is the demand that's going to come for AI because it is so useful.
I agree 100%, and maybe it can even help us solve some of these problems. I don't know.
Possibly.
Do you ever feel like it's sentient? I mean, what's your relationship with Claude?
I mean,
how clear are you that it's just a program, is what I'm asking?
I'm very clear that it's just a program.
Yeah.
I'm actually reading Michael Pollan's new book on consciousness.
Yes.
You've read that.
I haven't read it yet, but I
Appears.
can't wait, yeah.
It's great. I'm 64% through, so says my Kindle. And, it's one of these books where the more you read, the less you feel like you know, and the more confusing it becomes. And one thing that you do pick up from it is the complexity of consciousness is so beyond language, and it's so beyond feeding more language corpus into these models that I think the world model stuff that some of the early AI guys now have splintered off from OpenAI and are raising money around, I think are heading in the direction that may lead to something closer to consciousness. But I think the things we have right now are not conscious, but they are very, very good at performing a lot of the tasks we ask of it. And sometimes those tasks are being a therapist or being a shoulder to cry on. And it just turns out that you can get most of the way there with what we have. But I harbor no illusion that this thing is thinking or feeling or anything like that. I think that's very far away.
Because that would be terrifying.
It would be terrifying,
but
it would also it's diminishing to humans. What we are the resolution that we are taking in every moment is so high, and it's so profoundly weird consciousness. And I was doing this meditation retreat the other day, and I was just thinking about how just fundamentally bizarre it is that we sit quietly and we have this person that exists internally, and it's able to gaze inward. I mean, we're doing so many things that are just this mishmash of crazy chemicals that have come about over millions of years of brute forcing better versions of ourselves, that I think without some kind of like huge computing boosts, quantum computing or something, that consciousness in a machine is still quite a ways off. Anyway, that's my layman's take.
Do you say please and thank you when you talk to Claude?
Yeah, because I don't want to be a jerk in real life, so it's good to practice.
I can't help it. I know. I'm just like you. I know it's a computer program. It's not a person. I don't have quite your faith in the uniqueness of our own abilities as humans. I'm not sure that we're not just stochastic parrots. But I still say please and thank you to the machine, just in case.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I think we are definitely computer-ish based. I don't necessarily believe in this sort of other entity kind of operating. But I just think the computing is. I mean, if you think about the efficiency and the low wattage that we're doing what we're doing with, there's some other computing insight that's happened there that's pretty amazing. But I will say the one thing I am not polite to is Siri. I'm never polite to Siri.
No, in fact, my wife quite notoriously swears up a blue streak at Siri, but Siri earns it.
Yes, Siri deserves it.
Siri has earned it.
There's the Curb, I think from last season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, there's a whole scene of Larry screaming at Siri in the car.
Yes.
Which I think we've all done a version of that.
Well, I've just joined TGP. I am Leo Laporte. I look forward to talking with you. I'm really impressed. I've always been impressed by your posts, by your writing, by your books. Someday I wouldn't mind going on a hike with you and Kevin. That would be pretty amazing. I thank you, Craig, for joining us on Intelligent Machines and giving us a nice humanistic angle on something that is kind of moving fast and changing the world and all that stuff.
Well, thanks for having me. This has been fun.
Thank you, Craig. Really nice to talk to you. Take care.
Likewise.
Thank you to Craig Maude for getting up early in Japan so we could talk to him. We appreciate it. We will get to the rest of Intelligent Machines, all the news, including the shoemaker who's become the latest AI pivot. But first, a word from our sponsor. Intelligent Machines brought to you this week by Melissa, the trusted data quality expert since 1985. 84% of organizations struggle with inaccurate or duplicate data, and that impacts everything from fraud prevention to AI performance, right? Garbage in, garbage out. Melissa has been solving this before the AI era for more than 41 years. Now, here's what that means for your business. Melissa will give you global address verification, which validates and standardizes addresses across more than 240 countries in the form and fashion that the local postal services expect. That's different in every country. Melissa knows that. They'll also do mobile identity verification. That's actually great for Know Your Customer regulations. It matches customers to mobile numbers, cuts fraud. It also gives you an SMS channel, often your customer's preferred way of communicating with them. On average, a database, a contact list, an address list, a customer list, a supplier list will contain 8 to 10% duplicate records. That's where Melissa's matchup technology makes such a difference. It can identify even non-exact matching duplicates that would traditionally be missed. They're not exact, right? Enrich records, too. All of the records can be enriched with demographic, geographic, psychographic, firmographic, and property info for more intelligent targeting. Melissa's alert service is great because even once you get your address list, your contact list all fixed up, people move. Stuff changes. So Melissa's alert service monitors and automatically updates your customer data when the customer moves. There's an address change, a property transaction, a name change, hazard risks, and so forth. Join more than 10,000 businesses worldwide using Melissa. A good example, eToro. This is a fintech solution. So they've got those Know Your Customer regulations. They're a social investing platform. They're big. I'm sure you've heard of them. 23 million users. And they use Melissa for identity verification. eToro's business analyst says, quote, "We find electronic verification is the way to go because it makes the user's life easier. Users register faster. They can start using our platform right away. No matter the size of your business, Melissa integrates with you. Melissa has easy-to-use apps for Salesforce, Dynamics, CRM, Shopify, Stripe, Microsoft Office, Google Docs, and on and on. Everything that you're using. Melissa's solutions and services are GDPR and CCPA compliant, FedRAMP and ISO 27001 certified. They meet SOC 2 and HIPAA high trust standards for information security management. Get started today with 1,000 records cleaned for free at melissa.com/twit. That's melissa.com/twit. We thank them so much for their support of Intelligent Machines.
This next episode of Rush Hour 4 Gentrifier Drift, we're in a neighborhood that feels like someone tried to program peace into a video game and accidentally deleted culture.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening.
Who's taking over? I like that we all just sat there in shock silence for a second, like someone else had done it.
That was a AI-generated voice that Jeff,
a guy named Miles Toe,
thought it was
very
like
funny.
His voice, but it's not Miles.
He does tours of New York City in neighborhoods,
right.
And he uses that anthropological voice. And I get the joke now, but I thought it was his voice. They're very well written. They're very
supposed
funny.
to be Richard Attenborough kind of.
Yeah. Why they call it Long Island City? It's definitely not long, and it's definitely not a city.
But it is an island.
Profile with granite.
I have no idea where that sound is coming from. Yeah,
I
think it's playing inside the Discord, so you got to look for the video that's playing in Discord.
I have no idea what's coming out of that. Every time I switch over,
designer tried to make a neighborhood
it's Discord.
out of soy protein.
Yeah,
that's what Benito just said.
Find the video that's playing.
I couldn't hear him because Richard Attenborough was talking. How do I stop it?
From a remote
All right, closing
David
Discord.
Sweet
That was
relief.
exhausting.
He's very good though, Miles Toe.
I will. How much time do you spend on TikTok every day?
How much time am I in the bathroom?
Ah, that's what it is.
Did you
Wasn't
see
there
the,
a warning from TikTok? Or
oh, screw them. I don't pay attention to any of those things.
It's that your legs can fall asleep if you're scrolling. I experienced this, but with playing crossplay. But I haven't. But I've been deficient on all my crossplay.
do I owe
games
you
the
a move,
last
or do
week.
you owe me a move?
I think you owe me a move. Or
Do I?
you?
Okay.
I might owe you a move. Actually, I owe everybody in my life a move. I've been off the last.
You were
4
all
days
into it, and
because-
now you're not so much
Well,
anymore.
this last week I've been very busy, so I
Yeah.
just haven't had time.
I don't
and was
judge
sick.
you. I don't judge you. I get sick.
And I had to file my taxes and figure out the Yonkers questions.
Okay, now we got to talk about that because you mentioned this last year. Today's tax day. I hope you all did your taxes. If you didn't, go rush over there. Keep the podcast going while you're finishing it up. I did my mom's and mine today. Got it all done. But in the New York tri-state area...
When you're filling out your New York State tax return or having it filled out for you by a robot, you go through a series of questions in which it asks you in every way possible, did you live in Yonkers during this period? Did you work in Yonkers during this period? Did you thinking about working in Yonkers? Did you so much as glance askance at Yonkers during this period?
And you did work in Yonkers, did you not?
And I did, in a sense, because the company I work for is a Yonkers-based business. So I finally had to figure out what all that is about.
Oh, and you actually had to say yes for the first time in history.
Yes, and I had to fill out another form.
Do you get something out of that?
I mean, I get more taxes out of that.
There's a Yonkers break?
No,
not a tax break. There's a Yonkers tax. There's a Yonkers non-resident earnings tax. And there's
I pay New York City non-resident earnings tax, for example. Well, I did. I don't now.
Doesn't seem right somehow.
You got
the only thing I know about Yonkers
Y-203, the Yonkers non-residence earning tax return tax year 2025.
So you pay a lot more now. It's probably $1 more, right?
It was like, I think $500 was taken out of my paycheck for half the year.
That's not nice. That's where Hello Dolly comes from, is Yonkers.
Really?
Yes.
Yonkers.
I don't know if they say that in the musical, but it's based on a play called I Can Get It For You Wholesale.
It begs the question, why Yonkers, though? Like, why does Yonkers get the money?
They made a law.
Like New York City, it has a tax.
Yeah. We have that. We have special taxes in Petaluma for special things. It's not unusual that, like, we have an additional sales tax, things like that for schools, stuff like that.
Yeah,
anyway.
It's something like that. But anybody who, and so I went through a whole thing because I was like, well, technically the company I work for is based in Yonkers, but I work from home. I'd like calculate the number of days. And I was like, well, I technically only worked in Yonkers for 5 days, so it would be proportional, right? And no, it turns out there's a new thing in the tax law, sometime in the last couple of years at least, that has said if you work remotely from home outside of Yonkers, but are working for a Yonkers-based company, that counts as working in Yonkers. So, yeah.
Well, I think...
Did you calculate how much additional tax that meant for you?
I mean, it's somewhere between $0 and $500. I'm sorry for all the audience members.
Really, I think now answered that Yonkers question for all time.
Yeah, this is what you get for asking me about taxes on tax day.
I want to hear, do you like Yonkers?
I do love, Yonkers, the city, I have neutral feelings about.
Have you had good food there? Is there anything that Yonkers is known for?
I haven't been outside of CR and the train station.
Is Yonkers in New York State?
Yes, you just take the Metro North up to Yonkers, and then
is it in a borough?
The edge of Westchester County. No,
it's in Westchester County.
No, it's like just north of the northest part of New York State proper.
Yes, the Bronx.
It's in the Bronx, technically.
No, it's above the Bronx.
It's north of
the Bronx.
North of the Bronx.
Yes, because that's how Dolly had to come down.
Yeah.
She took the streetcar, but yeah, okay.
And for those of you who are wondering, this is an AI show, and we're about to talk about shoes, which will really confuse you.
No, we're not about to, but we will at some point talk about shoes. But I think before we do that, I think Paris has some apologizing to do to Sam Altman, who has now been firebombed and
does that mean that reporting on him is bad?
All because of that New Yorker article.
That's incorrect. That's not why those things happened.
Because the guy was nutso.
Well, there were more than one guy. So
guns don't shoot billionaires. Articles written about billionaires by reporters shoot billionaires.
But did you read Sam's blog, a post about it, where he has posted a picture of his husband and their small child? And we try to be pretty private, but I'm sharing a photo in the hopes that it might dissuade the next person from throwing a Molotov cocktail at our house, no matter what they think about me. And actually, I'm very sympathetic.
Yeah. Yeah.
We know you're very sympathetic, Leo.
Not of well, okay. I'm not going to defend Sam, but
against this,
he's no Eric Swalwell. I mean, he's a little slippery, a little slimy, but not firebombing slimy.
I don't think that anybody is arguing for violence or attack.
But the larger story, and I'm being facetious, obviously, I don't blame you for this, but the larger story is, I do think, and some have said this, that this is, and I've been saying this for a while, there's going to be a schism between people who love AI and people who are really mad about AI, and there could be violence. I mean, this might just be the beginning of, you remember the Luddites, if they existed, because there's some question about whether they really existed, but the Luddites were reputedly, Ned Ludd, the leader of the Luddites, they didn't like the automated looms that were putting hand weavers out of business, destroyed the looms.
It was not a protest against technology. It was a protest against the economic straits into which these people were put. Same for Captain Swing.
It might be the same thing for AI. I mean, people are concerned about their jobs, right?
But I think we need to kind of see whether they lose their jobs first. But now this is all presumptive at this point. And a lot of the people who've been laid off supposedly because of AI, it's an excuse.
It's AI
all the people who protested those other technologies you just named, were all of them confirmed lost their jobs personally, or were some of them reacting to the larger economic?
I do fear a little bit that it is going to get, I mean, there's definitely this, clash between the acceleration.
It's also that's also about capitalism. I mean, it's not
a lot of things.
You're right, yeah.
A lot of things.
The class war, really.
It's class war, yeah. And really, if Sam Altman were, a billionaire, I don't know if the same thing would happen. I don't know. People going after Jensen Huang or Elon Musk.
Well,
they probably have bigger security details, I would imagine.
They all do. I mean, we've seen stories about how much security is spent on Mark Zuckerberg. It's a fortune.
Well, and the people who
security is spent on Barry Weiss.
The guy who threw the firebomb was immediately ID'd by his security team. I mean, Sam does have security around his house, so that's why, bounced off and it didn't cause a problem. They put the fire out immediately. And the shots were not fired directly at him. They were fired around him, I guess. I don't know. It's scary. I think this is a little scary.
Yeah, don't commit violence, people.
Yeah. OpenAI, though, has not made many friends. They are backing a bill now that would limit liability for AI-enabled mass deaths. This is an Illinois bill that would hold AI labs liable.
Financial disasters.
Or financial disasters. And of course, as soon as OpenAI said, we're against it, Anthropic had to say, oh, no, that's a good idea, because it isn't about the bill. It's about the rivalry between the two.
What if it is about the bill also?
Well, do you think really Dario thinks that he should be liable if, this is a good example.
I mean, isn't that the whole thing? Anthropic, the whole reason why Anthropic pulled out of the Pentagon deal? And part of their fundamental
that was not necessarily liability. It was just that they don't want to be associated with, surveillance of U.S. citizens and killing people autonomously. And similarly, it's why they held back Mythos. They don't want to be held responsible, I guess. I guess liability in that case might be real. If companies like Microsoft suddenly are brought to their knees because of all the 0 days that Mythos discovers. Now, I have to say,
you heard some of the criticism of Mythos since our last podcast?
I have, and we can talk about some of it, but there's also some evidence that it is real. For instance, yesterday, Microsoft patched more flaws than it has ever patched before, or second most flaws that's ever patched in its Patch Tuesday. And I'm wondering, this will be the test of Mythos. Remember, it's only 50 companies have it. The test of Mythos, which, as you may remember from last week, Anthropic said, we don't want to release this. It's dangerous. It's so good at finding security flaws. If we release this to the public, all of a sudden, bad guys will attack everything and everything will collapse. So we're going to give it to these 50 companies, primarily closed source companies, for them to clean up, because they have the source code, clean up their own flaws before we release Mythos to the public. There's the criticism you mentioned is one that is very cleverly timed right before Anthropic's IPO. But the other point that a number of people have made, and I think this is actually true, is Mythos probably uses a lot of compute power. And releasing it to the public would bring Anthropic's compute to its knees. It's already struggling. Claude Opus 4.6 is already struggling. It's been down several times. A lot of people are complaining about it. So it may even be just self-preservation, not about liability, not about danger, but just self-preservation. I think there are a lot of good reasons for
we need a new animal besides the fail whale.
Sorry?
We need a new animal after the fail whale for Anthropic.
The failed walrus?
Yeah, something.
So we talked about it with Steve Gibson yesterday on Security Now. He says after looking at the evidence, he feels pretty confident that they're not overselling its capabilities. I think we will know, because if any of those 50 companies, Microsoft's one of them, start releasing fixes fast and furiously for their software, that might indeed be an indication that they're finding stuff they didn't know about before. There is also one of the funniest things is a number of American government agencies who have been told not to use Anthropic by the president are desperately trying to get their hands on Mythos. They want to try it too, and I don't blame them. They're saying, hey, we would really like to see how this works on our stuff.
The one thing I read is that it's one matter to find a flaw, another matter to create an attack against it.
One of the things that we know, or we think Mythos has done, and there are some examples of very severe flaws that have been published by Anthropic researchers very recently, and so Steve thinks that's probably Mythos found it, is they publish a proof of concept at the same time, which is a working sample of code that shows that it can be done. I don't think there were some flaws. I think there was one in FreeBSD that people kind of poo-pooed, saying, "Well, we've known about this for a long time. It isn't dangerous." Okay, but some of them are. There was a CVE 10, which is the maximum risk level, at least one of them. And then there's this from the Brits. Let's see if I can find this one. Our evaluation of Claude Mythos's previews, cyber capabilities from the AI Security Institute, which is part of the UK government. They had access to Mythos. Our results show Mythos Preview presents a step up over previous frontier models in a landscape where cyber performance is already rapidly improving. They have something, they do a capture the flag challenge. And they say in capture the flag challenges, AI models must identify and exploit weaknesses in target systems to retrieve hidden flags. In other words, proof that they were able to get in. And they have a graph of CTF performance. And the Mythos preview is dramatically better than even Opus 4.6 or ChatGPT 5.4, which are fairly close. In the advanced CTF challenge, it's even more significant. On expert level tasks, which no model could complete before April 2025. When's that? Oh, that's now. Mythos previews. Again, no model could succeed. Not one. Mythos Preview succeeds 73% of the time. So, it has the virtue of being very hypey for their IPO, but I don't think it's made up.
Right. There's something. There's a nuance here. It's not binary.
No, I think it's all three.
It could be somewhat hyped. It could be somewhat real.
I don't know if it's hyped.
I think that's April 2025. We can't know until
they release it.
That's April.
There's not a lot of evidence that it's hyped, but the IPO is coming up, so it is good for marketing. It may be, both could be true, that it really is very, very good, and it's good for marketing. And I think it's clearly true that Anthropic is compute constrained. This is a big deal right now. That they are models coming along that they cannot actually publish because they don't have enough compute.
But those are different issues, yes.
Well, but they're all simultaneously could be true, is my point. It's good marketing. It's actually genuinely good at cybersecurity, and they don't have enough compute to distribute it anyway.
So, OpenAI supposedly has a model that's also dangerous. They're also not putting out, and they have a separate group of places that are taking it. The question I have for you, and it's a question,
which was, by the way, what a coincidence!
Yeah, exactly.
That a week later, they would provide a version of ChatGPT 5.4 that is ChatGPT 5.4 Cyber.
So the person I want to talk to about this is our friend Craig Newmark, who cares deeply about cybersecurity efforts.
Wrong one. Sorry.
I didn't say moral panic. No.
Sorry, our friend.
I almost went for the song.
He was going to do the Craig Newmark. No, that's
see.
enough. We don't need any more of that. We had one already.
Oh, now you got to do it, Benito. Now you have to do it just to piss him off.
Sorry, what was your friend's name again, Jeff?
Craig Newmark. Craig Newmark.
Leo, you can't stop the train.
No. So what I want to ask,
the Craig Newmark train.
Shouldn't Glasswing be something that's run by an independent, trusted authority, so that any model that can do this stuff should be presented to it, and any company that needs to make sure that they're okay should have access to it for this purpose? It should be a larger cause, not just a club. And in the case of Anthropic, their banker is one of the companies that was given access to it, for example. So there is and their investors. So who gets to be protected by these supposedly all-powerful models?
Oh, in a communist or socialist government, I think we would just take it over. But that's not.
No, I think
we're a capitalist society.
You're
they
saying
get to give it to whoever they damn want to.
Structure of a
it's
capitalist government. You're saying that our current capitalist government allows companies to do whatever they want with their products?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Well, not Anthropic.
How did that? Yeah, not Anthropic,
they're not allowed.
but every other company. Right?
I think it's ironic that these government agencies are trying to say, "Can we have it? Can we have it?" But Donald's moved on to something else. He's not paying any attention anymore anyway. I don't know what Pete... We haven't seen Pete for a while. I don't know what Pete's up to these days. OpenAI...
War?
Oh, that war thing. Yeah, maybe. OpenAI rips Anthropic, distances itself from Microsoft. I think, honestly, OpenAI is in a little bit of a tizzy right now.
Yes.
They also have an IPO coming up. It's really interesting. OpenAI is valued at something like $1.5 trillion because of their huge raise. Anthropic's only valued at about $300 billion. And yet, if you look at the curve of enterprise spending, Anthropic's going like this as OpenAI goes down. Anthropic's going up, and AI. So, I wouldn't declare the race over by any means.
No.
But the dark horse is starting to pull ahead.
And let's not forget there's also Google and Amazon's hanging out there too, doing stuff and has chips and things. When I sent you the Dylan Byers podcast about the TBPM acquisition. And
so this is from Puck, which is a wonderful and snarky and very insidery subscription newsletter and podcast. And Dylan is one of the founders, but also is very insider on all of this stuff. And so he interviewed Chris Lehane, who is the former fixer,
who kept saying again and again and again, bragging about their largest raise in history or something such thing.
I'm going to be honest. Dylan Byers and Chris Lehane interview is the two biggest braggers you've ever met.
Yes.
Convention center.
That's why I did not listen. I guess it
was interesting to listen to, mainly to hear, sorry, different topic, but mainly to hear that there's no strategy for that purchase, for that huge amount of money purchase. There's none.
I think actually the wheels are coming off OpenAI, to be honest. It sure looks like
Were they ever there to begin with?
Oh, yeah.
They
How quickly we forget.
Led the way.
They owned this space. They started with ChatGPT-2, which incidentally, and not coincidentally, they said is too dangerous to be released to the public. Once we got it, we realized there's no danger here. But GPT 3.5 transformed people's opinion of AI. Have we already forgotten that 3 years ago? People said, oh my God, this stuff's pretty good. And then 4.0 and 4. And it's only been lately that Anthropic has suddenly, popped up. And where's Google in all of this? It's a very interesting 3-horse race at this point.
You guys know anybody who uses Gemini as their primary AI?
Yeah.
Who?
I use it a lot.
Your primary?
Well, what's primary? I use it for when I...
Primary is primary. It's more so than the others.
I go to it more than the others. Yes.
Larry Gold showed us Anti-Gravity, which is their IDE for AI, and I think maybe Larry's using it a little bit. I think most coders have shifted to Claude.
Well, Jeff, why do you use Gemini over the other ones?
Well, there's an irony to that question, Paris, because Jeff remains absolutely effing enraged that I do not have the simple Ask Gemini button on my Google Chromebook, Google Workspace, Google Chrome browser. So I'm not sure why I do, because I'm so pissed at them.
I think ChatGPT still is by far the most used chat client.
I think it's
by
Kleenex.
far.
It's
a billion
brand,
monthly
yeah.
active users. Anthropic is just behind it. Gemini, by virtue of being built into Chrome, is probably very, very widely used. One of the things Google's getting a lot of attention for is this newish, because they've been actually talking about it for a year, technology that squeezes these models down to a very compact size without losing much accuracy. And their Gemma model, which they've released, is very small, can run locally on machines, among other things, can run locally on a Mac quite well, even with only 32 gigs of RAM. So I think there are people using. I immediately installed it. It's no Claude. This is the problem. Is Opus is so good. By the way, it may even be today or tomorrow that Opus 4.7 will be released. When you filed your taxes, you did not ask OpenAI for tax advice, did you?
No, I did ask Claude to write an email to my accountant, apologizing for sending my taxes late, and then an email to my accountant saying, I understand that because I've sent my taxes late, you can't file them to the 20th, but I have gone ahead and filed my taxes anyway. I'll see you next year. But other than that, that was
so
my
did
only
you use
tax
TurboTax or some?
I used Free Tax USA.
It's free.
It was $15 for state taxes, but that's cheaper
So its
than
name is not right, is it?
TurboTax. Well, the USA
TurboTax
part
is
was
$200.
correct.
I paid $260 to pay.
That's more than my
I
accountant
paid
costs.
Yeah,
$2,000
that was
for my
outrageous.
accountant.
That's to do my mom's.
Did you?
So this is what OpenAI says.
The Yonkers questions well.
Well, the Yonkers questions were so annoying that I was gonna tap Arthur, but I figured it out eventually.
Arthur the accountant.
Arthur the accountant.
Darren Oakey, by the way, says Gemma 4 is awesome. I think a lot of people who are really aficionados often use multiple models for different things. I use a Chinese model to process my meal log, because it's cheap and it's fast and it's good enough. So you might use Gemma for some stuff locally and so forth. Gemma is a failback. Anyway, this is what OpenAI said about tax day. With tax day approaching, more and more Americans are using ChatGPT to navigate questions about their taxes and filings. Tax-related queries have increased 4 times from Q1 2025 to Q1 2026. Earnings, withholdings, blah, 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 blah. But then look at the bottom part of the very tiniest font of the very tiniest bit of this ex post. ChatGPT is not intended to replace professional advice.
Just to piss off your professional advisor for asking stupid questions because of ChatGPT.
and frankly, don't forget, if you feed your tax form to ChatGPT, you're giving it your social security number.
Yeah, don't do that. What a nightmare.
If you do, redact it first. So to get back to the original question, and Darren said, it's not a 3-horse race. Don't forget Alibaba and Baidu. And of course, there's the Chinese 3-horse race means there's 3 horses in the kind of the front. And then there's a bunch of people right behind them, which are the Chinese models. I've been using Jipu's GLM 5.1. It's almost as good as Opus 4.6. But I'm very curious what happens when Anthropic releases 4.7, which your former employer, the information, Stephanie Palazzolo says will be soon, maybe as soon as this week. By the way, when news of 4.7 came along, because at the same time they're expected to release an AI-powered tool for designing websites and presentations, according to a person with knowledge of the product, stock prices of Adobe, Wix, and Figma dropped 2% in after-hours trading following the report. People are terrified. And you know what, Paris, this will be maybe the first test of secretly British. The tool would also pose a threat to startups like presentation maker Gamma and AI design tool Google Stitch. It aims to help both technical and non-technical users create presentations, websites, landing pages, and products using prompts in natural language.
That's fine. That's all stuff people don't want to do anyway, right?
Right. It's interesting. They've got this Mythos hiding out in the back. I don't know where 4.7 sits on the spectrum of things.
How about when you get a .n release of a model, how much are they changing it? They're not retraining it, right?
Yeah, that's probably what that means, right? So Opus 4 is the big training thing where you have to throw a lot of data, the entire internet, against a bunch of GPUs, and you get the model. But then you got to do the weights, right? Mm-hmm. You have to train it, do a lot of fitting. There's research. There's what do they call reinforcement learning. There's a lot of stuff that's still going on. Actually, that's a hot area for hiring right now. Is people to help post-train these models. So my guess is, yeah, it's additional post-training and maybe tuning to do maybe something a little different like design or cybersecurity. You may remember we were talking about Pete Hegseth, Department of War, and them declaring that Anthropic was a supply chain risk, which seemed a little odd because usually that's a foreign power, not an American company that's declared a supply chain risk. Anthropic went to court, and a federal court has denied their motion to lift that label, which is a bit of a surprise. A panel of federal judges denied a motion to stop the Department of Defense from labeling it a security risk. In a 4-page ruling, the 3-judge panel of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia said Anthropic had not satisfied the stringent requirements for a stay of the security risk label. This is from the New York Times. In our view, the balance here cuts in favor of the government. Anthropic is also sued in California. Now, this is not a final decision. This is just the court saying we're not going to issue a preliminary injunction. The suit will continue. The case will continue. But it was a surprise to me. I would have thought, given that the dangers to this business, that the court might have said, well, let's wait and pursue this in court before we allow that.
You always got to look at that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, who is the judge?
It's it's the D.C. Court for District of Columbia, but it's a three-judge panel, and I think they're interpreting it very legalistically. Like, well, there are certain requirements if you want us to stay this, and you haven't fulfilled them. Is different than saying there's no merit. They're just saying there's some specific things you have to do. In the ruling, the panel did acknowledge Anthropic would likely, quote, likely suffer some degree of irreparable harm. So they were cognizant of the risk to Anthropic from this.
They weren't sloughing it off.
Yeah. And I wouldn't go so far as Todd Blanche, the acting attorney general, saying it was a resounding victory for military readiness. No. I think it's just the court saying, well, we're going to be more judicious in this. It's funny because in the California case, Judge Lynn said she agreed Anthropic was being punished for criticizing the government. She wrote, nothing in the governing statute supports the Orwellian notion that an American company can be branded a potential adversary and saboteur of the U.S. for expressing disagreement with the government. So now you have conflicting judgments, and I don't know which holds. There will be a trial.
Anthropic may have God on its side.
God?
God.
Do you want to explain
Does that exist?
Anthropic asked Christian leaders for help in steering its spiritual development.
Oh, come on. This is from
Did it
the
ask the
Vaticats? So they said the wide-ranging discussions with 15 Christian leaders from Catholic and Protestant churches also covered how the chatbot should respond to users who are grieving loved ones. I think actually that's reasonable. Like, how should we handle that? And whether Claude should be considered, now this one I don't know about so much, a child of God.
Yeah, this is going overboard.
An AI is not in any form or fashion.
Should it be considered a Claude of God? A child of Claude?
Well, I guess you could say. I mean, unfortunately, I'm as a non-believer, I don't really have the status to weigh in on this. But I suppose if God created everything, everything's a child of God.
Well, if it's a child of God, does it have a soul then? Does that mean
computers.
It has a soul?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe there's some doctrinal.
Does Claude
maybe child
have
of God
sin?
has some larger doctrinal.
I like baptizing Claude and it shorts out.
A Catholic priest based in Silicon Valley, Brendan McGuire, said they're growing something that they don't fully know what it's going to turn out as. We've got to build ethical thinking into the machine. I don't know why I'm giving an Irish accent. His name's Brendan McGuire. We've got to build ethical thinking into the machine so it's able to adapt dynamically.
Right.
Attendees also discussed how Claude should engage with users with risks of self-harm. You did see some researchers talking to ChatGPT. They said they created an imaginary 13-year-old girl going to it for help, and it was giving her advice on how to self-harm. But to me, this is not surprising. These machines are not.
You can say the same thing about
God.
Google. You can go to you go to the library and you can get advice on how to
they're just regurgitating what's in there.
No, but a book isn't going to tell you to do that stuff.
No. It's
I understand what you're saying, but the point is you can find this information in the lunchroom. You can find it in lots of places.
Right.
So why do we have to add another place to find it?
Fair.
Especially since young people, vulnerable people may turn to ChatGPT as a friend, as an advisor, unlike a library, right?
Ideals? No, it wouldn't. But the question is, can you anticipate and stop every possible malign use?
It is a potential harm, though, with these things.
Yeah, but maybe you should try to stop some of them.
Should you limit AI to people over 18?
No. God.
That would be a mistake, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Anthropic feeling the compute crunch. Oh, well, okay, I'll do one more story and then we'll take a break. Anthropic feeling the compute crunch has now changed its billing. It's long been thought, your friend Ed Zitron has been thinking this for a long time, that the subscriptions, I have one, a Claude Max subscription, subsidize really many users, that they use it so much they're not really paying the real cost of the AI. And this might confirm it. Anthropic is saying, yeah, from now on, enterprises, you can't use those, all you can eat subscriptions. You're going to have to pay by the token. And I think this is clearly the result of this compute.
It's fascinating. It's like the opposite of mobile games, where the whales pay for the people who don't play that much. This one, the people who don't use it that much are paying for the people who do use it a lot.
This is the gym membership model, right?
Yeah, this is the Planet Fitness model.
Right, $15 a month because they know you're never coming back. But most people don't use it to the full extent. I think it's different with Claude. I think people who use Claude Code are just using it and using it and using it.
Yeah, and they're worried because those people are getting so much Claude Code for just $20 a month or $100 a month when they really should be paying by the token.
No, well,
those people are on the Claudenomics leaderboard at Meta.
Right. The good news is individual users still can subscribe. It's just the enterprises that are going to have to pay by token. Pay probably the appropriate amount for usage, which it just really does tell you that. I have a couple of conclusions I'll draw from this in just a second. You're watching Intelligent Machines, talking about AI. I always say robotics. There's not a lot to talk about in robotics, but I'll try to find something. And your genial hosts, Paris Martineau from Consumer Reports, and from Montclair State University and the SUNY Stony Brook, State University of New York at Stony Brook, Professor Jeff Jarvis, author of, and I haven't mentioned this, the Gutenberg Parenthesis magazine, his new book, Hot Type, all about the history of the linotype, which is out in July. You can order it now at jeffjarvis.com.
The magnificent machine that gave birth to mass media and drove Mark Twain mad. It's
actually a great, fascinating story. It really is a good story. I just think that one of the things that this confirms to me is the bitter lesson, that really it's just about more compute, and that all the companies that were building data centers and everybody said, oh, you're not going to need those. No, they're going to need them.
They?
Yes.
All of
absolutely.
them?
Yes. The more the merrier.
So that means none of us get to buy computers anymore, right? So that means no person gets to have a computer.
But I want to buy a computer
anymore, right?
and want to buy a chip for my things. Can't I have a chip too? Do they need all of them?
You might pay a little bit more. You can buy a computer.
A little bit more? You mean hundreds of dollars more? You mean 2 to 3 times more than 5 years ago?
It's $600 bucks.
That's not enough computer for me.
It's plenty of computer. I guarantee you.
It's not. I need more.
I can't help you then. No, you can buy a chip for your things. Machine. It just costs a little bit more, and I think there are a lot of reasons for that.
A double is more than a little bit more.
No, one, it's not a little bit more, and there are not plenty of reasons for that besides AI. AI and the data center boom and the chip crisis for AI companies specifically are what is causing this huge spike we're seeing.
Well,
chip
wah. Too bad we're going to do it anyway.
Because he wants his toy. He wants his Claude to have everything first.
Well, if you have a Neo, you can use Claude all you want. You don't
see this is the thing.
If I had a Neo, I wouldn't be able to open up.
Benito, I don't need you to gang up on me with Paris. We got enough people ganging up.
No, it's the computer for rent thing that I'm afraid of, though. It's the computer for rent thing. When they have all the hardware and now you just have it to rent a computer, like I don't want that.
So the other thing I think as long as I got you mad at me, I'll get Jeff mad at me too. It also throws shade on Jan LeCun's contention that, LLMs can't go any farther. We can't do any more with them. We've got to have some sort of physical world. No, I think we're seeing LLMs have not yet reached their limit.
He doesn't say we're there yet. He says, but there is a limit, and we're not going to get to all the fancy goals everybody thinks they have through them. Because it's not text-based. There's knowledge beyond text in real-world models. You can't tokenize the entire world. You've got to think about the world differently to do that. You've got to understand the concept of a chair, the concept of gravity in practice. And if you want to do things like robotics and self-driving cars, it ain't going to be text that gets you there.
Well, I certainly don't have the expertise or the degrees that Jan LeCun and Fei Li have, and so I have to defer to their expertise. But there's no evidence at this point that LLMs have topped out at all.
Well, to Paris's point, how much are we going to have to spend to find out where that limit is? Because we just build it bigger and it will come. It's the what was that movie?
Well, why stop now when we have yet to see the limit of what's possible?
But I am saying that you do some math and figure out what the progression really is, and is it worth the huge investment that we're making?
I think that's very reasonable. I don't think that we should.
Well, how do you judge that? How would you judge it?
If you were an investor, if they weren't in craziness now, any responsible investor would ask these questions.
And it would be on the burden of the people asking for all this money to prove that.
Yeah. It's an investment. And now the investment's being done on the basis of
vibes and hope and FOMO.
It's the vibe bubble.
I think you guys are completely wrong, but okay, I've expressed that opinion before. I think it's really obvious that we have something remarkable going on. You're completely underselling what's happening.
Utility is never the question. It's economics.
We do have something remarkable, but is it remarkable at this price?
I'm not going to engage in this.
Is it remarkable
you guys
enough
are wrong,
to have all the money?
Meta has been warned by dozens of organizations that facial recognition on its smart glasses would empower predators. It's interesting that Meta has been putting out these glasses for several years, and now, all of a sudden, people are very worried about them. One of the things, though, they don't do, and one of the things Google eschewed as well, is facial recognition. Google said, it'd be too dangerous. We could do it. This was back in the glass days, but we don't want to. This is from Engadget, dozens of civil rights organizations have written a letter to Mark Zuckerberg to warn of the dangers of bringing facial recognition to the glasses. Zuck wants to do it. And there's certainly value to it.
Zuck not only wants to do it, it was only a couple of months ago that a report came out that I believe there was an internal memo from Zuck or some other high-level Facebook executive saying now is the time to push facial recognition in the glasses because the rest of the U.S. is distracted by the current global political mood.
Do it now before anybody notices.
And it's like, if you have to try and time your push of expanding facial recognition, if you have to time your push of a very heavily criticized product to political turmoil, that's a bad sign.
I like that Epstein and War give you cover.
I think that it was maybe the statement was made during the Minnesota ICE arrests and protests, but it was, one of
Meta
the
just
political
cannot
issues.
stop putting its foot in its mouth, can it? It's just really amazing. Yeah, well,
but soon we'll have a virtual Mark we can go and ask him.
People said the same thing about Apple's AirTags, by the way, and that hasn't been fully resolved. This whole notion that somebody could use it to track you.
I mean, people are using it to track like their significant others or people they're stalking. Yeah. That's part of the reason why Apple has now come out with features where it'll warn you if an AirTag you're not associated with is following you.
Right. Mark Zuckerberg is apparently, this is according to The Verge, building an AI clone so he doesn't have to go to meetings. The AI version of Zuck is trained on his mannerisms, tone, and public statements. This is from a report from the Financial Times. It's not that he doesn't want to go to meetings. He just can't go to as many meetings as he needs to, so he wants the clone to go to some of them.
Well, it's also because in line 69, he has moved his desk to sit with the programmer so that he can code.
It's much more fun over there.
But do you really want your CEO? I mean, it's like the president of GM is putting tires on. Really?
Well, that's why it's often was thought that Sheryl Sandberg was so important to Facebook's success, that she was the adult supervision that Mark got to play while Sheryl actually ran the company. I don't know who's running the company now. Do you?
No, in fact, there was reference to, I think, the president of the company. I'd never heard of. So Dina Powell McCormick is the president and vice chairman of Meta. Do we ever hear from her? Ever?
I feel like she was in the Obama administration.
She was an executive at Goldman Sachs and a national Trump security advisor in the Trump administration.
Trump administration. Okay.
So if that's the adult in charge, we're not hearing a word from her.
United States Deputy National Security Advisor for Strategy, the DJT. And by the way, she's an immigrant from Egypt.
She joined in January.
She was an assistant to the president for presidential personnel during the Bush administration, then assistant secretary of state for educational and cultural affairs. This is a trend actually at Meta, right, Nick Clegg? They like people who have government inside because
you're basically
it helps
leading
them.
a nation state.
Yeah, it helps them. She was in the first Trump administration, part of the transition team in 2016. Left in 2018 to go to Goldman.
The Meta executives, they do look like a happy lot.
Yeah. Do you think she's the person running the company at this point?
No, it's Mark.
Chris Cox is in a critical position.
I would imagine Chris Cox, who has been with Zuckerberg since the beginning,
yes,
probably
understands how to manage.
Somebody's COO. Somebody's really running the place.
Well, Javier Olivan is the COO. Never heard of him.
Yeah.
Joel Kaplan is the chief PR. We know of him. Very close to Trump. Anyway, Boz.
I think Mark is probably in the same boat right now as Larry Page and Sergey Brin were in after about 10, 15 years of Google, where they're so wealthy.
Well, when did they step down? How far did they step down?
Yeah, I think that was a good move when they gave Eric Schmidt, and he was the adult supervision. They even said it themselves. I'm not sure when his tenure at Google started. Let me ask Google. Google would know. He was CEO of Google from 2001 to 2011, so very early on they brought him in. Executive chairman from 2011 to 2015. But he really ran the company for 10 years in its biggest period of growth.
And then they took over again, and then they stepped down.
Which was also a mistake. Schmidt now is worth $54 billion.
Jesus.
Speaking of Google, Chrome has added a new plugin that lets you take your AI prompts and turn them into one-click workflows. It's an What? You don't like this idea?
I can't use it because in my Google Chromebook, using Google Chrome, trying to use Google products, I don't have the Ask Gemini button in my browser on my Chromebook.
You don't? God,
No,
I wish I could get rid of it. I have it all over the place.
And I want it. I said in my other applications, I don't have it there, so I can't even experiment with that. But seriously, people, if there's anybody near, you have a cousin in Google, I want to talk to somebody. This is ridiculous.
I don't
really understand what's going on.
Understand that. I think, wait a minute. When I'm in Chrome, let me see. I'm going to go in Chrome.
I'm in Workspace and a Chromebook. Those are the two key factors.
It's the
Tried
Chromebook.
to solve this before.
Well, it's the Workspace on the Chromebook. If I go outside of Workspace on the Chromebook, I think I get it. I think last time I looked.
Let me go to Drive in my Workspace account. I think I see that sparkly little Gemini.
Yeah, you do, but I don't.
It's just because you're on a Chromebook.
Yeah, because he's in Chromebook.
Yeah, I see AI mode.
No,
yeah.
Chromebook's
and do you
not
want to be in Chromebook, Jill? Do you like the Chromebook lifestyle? Do you not want a normal computer with Chrome on it?
No, I far prefer this. I don't want to deal with all the crap you deal with. It's a very simple life. It's kind of the shaker of computers.
But couldn't you just get a normal computer and only open the Chrome app?
Then I got to deal with all that other Apple crap. No, I don't want to deal with that.
No. You don't have to get an Apple computer. You could just get a normal.
Windows. What? Windows? Oh, God, help me. No.
It's funny because there's so many people now maybe not listening. It is, after all, an AI crowd. But there's so many people in the world who would love to not have AI in their browser. And there are a number of browsers. In fact, there's a de-Googled Chrome that's very popular called Helium that says no AI. Even Firefox has a button that says turn off all AI. And here's this man, Jeff Jarvis, who wants an AI button.
Yeah, I do.
And can't get it.
I do, and I can't get it.
You got to give
Adobe
your little buddy, Leo.
And I pay Google every month for this torture. But why don't you go ahead, Leo, and tell people what everybody else in the world can do and I can't?
No, I'm done. I don't want to make you feel bad. Oh, wait a minute. Adobe's new Firefly AI assistant turns Creative Cloud into a single conversational interface.
Who wants this?
I don't know.
What does that
mean? We make you use Creative Cloud.
No, we don't. We use Google Drive for our cloud storage.
But no, this is for the cloud. This is for
right.
Photoshop, Premiere, Lightroom, Illustrator, Express, Frame.io, so that you can say to your Adobe Creative Suite, hey, take that photo, put a Gaussian blur on the background in Photoshop, then send it to Premiere and make it the keyframe for a video, which you're going to then send to Frame.io so we can download it and put it on the movie screen or whatever. You get the idea. The idea is that
I would have had that done myself by now before you finish that sentence.
Yeah, but once you say it, then it'll do. Maybe you could. I don't know. It maintains context across sessions, so it remembers what you want to do. It also works with the Firefly image model. Of course, this is Adobe's special AI image generator that didn't steal any images. We cross our heart. There's a lot of competition coming straight at Adobe from everybody, including Apple, and including now Blackmagic, which added Photoshop-like capabilities to its DaVinci Resolve photo editor. Gizmo!
Giz!
Oh, she looks so sad.
Giz, Giz, did you knock the Giga off a table somewhere? Is it
She
your fault?
did, I'm certain.
Did she eat it is the question.
No, she doesn't really eat things. She's started to learn that she can knock things off my desk specifically if she wants me to.
Cats like an LLM, she understands gravity.
Yeah, she doesn't really knock things off other locations, but she started to learn if I'm stuck here working for a while, she can start knocking my papers off and I will touch her as a response.
By the way, if you want an AI safe space, we do the AI user group every first Friday in our Club Twit, where nobody will say they're spending too much money on data centers. Nobody will say, I don't.
Yeah, if you need to be in a safe space where people will coddle your emotions, then
yes,
you could go
we
there.
will glaze our AIs.
It's a Krispy Kreme factory, guys.
All right, I will give you this. I'll give you 2 pieces from Gary Marcus. Will that make you happy? We've had Gary on the show.
I need to close my blinds because my face is getting blown out by the beautiful
88 degree
the 88 degree
New
sunlight.
York afternoon.
But I can do that while you talk about Gary Marcus.
Hello.
We just heard back. We might be able to get the Framework CEO. Okay, yes, get the Framework CEO. We would like to talk to him, Anthony. Thank you. Did you do it already? Did you already close the blinds?
No, I was just putting my headphones in so that I can still hear you.
So you can
while I close
move.
the blinds.
Right. Oh, so we can't talk about
portable
you.
Paris.
She didn't want us to talk about her when she was out of sight. You know, I don't know what to say. I don't have any good goss. What's the goss? She works in Yonkers, I hear. Aw, bread puppet. What is bread and puppet?
It's a really good puppet theater in Vermont that's also playing.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned them.
Now.
Yeah, and they make
I've got a poster
cabbage?
over there.
Okay.
They do make cabbage, and they've got cool art.
It's very pretty. It's it looks like a woodblock print. It's very nice.
Maybe. Yeah.
All right, she's going to readjust now her headphones. Now that the blinds are drawn, we must stop talking about her. I hear she lives in Yonkers.
She should be paying more taxes then. She thinks she's cool living in Brooklyn, but actually that's Yonkers
cool.
We see.
It's really Yonkers. Is Yonkers pretty? It has a terrible name, but it's Dutch.
It's Dutch. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, now we can't hear you.
Anything.
I'm sorry for any Yonkers stands out there. I haven't explored Yonkers long enough. Maybe there are parts of it I'm missing. It's just a stop on the Metro North.
It's just another
There's
place.
nothing crazy going on.
Just a little Westchester County, that's all.
It's a Paul Simon
Well, you see,
play.
but Yonkers,
It's a
no,
Paul
I'm going to
Simon
stay here
play.
for a second because Yonkers was granted to one of my favorite characters in the history of New York, Adrian van der Donk, who brought the sense of freedom of speech and democracy to the fledgling New York from Amsterdam. In Russell Shorto's wonderful book, Island at the Center of the World.
Love that book.
Adrian van der Donk is a wonderful, wonderful character. And he was known locally as a Jonkier, Jonkhwer, a young gentleman.
Oh, and that's where the name
title,
comes from?
Yes, an honorific title derived from the Dutch Jonk for young and Heer for lord. The title is similar to Esquire. Is linguistically comparable to the German Junker. Jonkier was shortened to Jonker, possessive Yonkers, from which the name Yonkers derives. The city's what are the city's residents known as? Paris. Is this on the quiz?
I'm looking at it right now. Otherwise, I'd try to guess.
They are known as Yonkersonians,
Yonkers.
Yonkersites, Yonkers, or Yonks.
Yonks.
Leo, do you want to guess what the population of Yonkers is? As
8 million. No, 1.2 million.
Yonkers?
Yeah.
No.
53,000.
211,000.
Oh, okay. So Petaluma is 65,000. So for comparison, now I know. It's a bigger city than Petaluma, but smaller than the Bronx.
Van der Donk built a sawmill, thus the Sawmill Parkway.
That is a very good book, though. I really enjoyed that. If you want to hear, I like.
Did we ever talk shoes?
Oh,
shoes.
We forgot the shoes.
It was actually. We didn't forget it. It's in there somewhere.
Well, you see, when you put it at the top of the list, so we think that under your rules, we would have been.
We're not
discussing
allowed
it
to bring up
immediately.
any stories. 'Cause there's a hard, schedule decided by Mr. Claude.
I believe it's at line 53, and we are only at line 50. So
How dare we?
if you
speak
wish
of
to
this?
jump ahead, though. So I am wearing Allbirds right now, just totally coincidentally. I love Allbirds. These are great shoes. Highly recommend
Kiss them
them.
goodbye.
They look AI generated, which is funny given what we're about to talk about.
They are so comfortable. I've owned many pairs of Allbirds. These are made out of bamboo, I think, but most of them are wool. They're famous
if you
for
want
their wool
now that
shoes.
you can't get them, if you want a competitor, Gieswein.
Gieswein makes
Giesswein.
Well, let's point out the Allbirds got sold, so presumably the shoe business will continue on. They sold.
Will it?
No, I don't know that that's the case.
No, because
the shoe business was a horrible failure.
Well, they sold for $39 million to
Allbirds is pivoting
American
to AI.
Exchange. So
Down from a $4 billion valuation as a shoe company.
Okay, but that was on the first day
They're
of
going to
its
be offering
IPO.
GPUs as a service.
Wait a minute, you're getting to the punchline too fast. So they're 11-year-old shoe brand, the wool sneaker brand that, according to TechCrunch, became an unofficial uniform for the Silicon Valley set, sold all of its assets and intellectual property to American Exchange Group, 1/10 of what it was worth at its heyday. But why would they spend $39 million if they weren't going to make the shoes
Less
anymore?
than a 10th. It's more like 100th.
Well, they never really were worth $4 billion.
No.
But anyway.
What was a failure? It had failed as a company. They were all hot. Everyone wanted to buy them. Then they were.
Do you think I can't buy any? Maybe they're having a closeout sale.
I'm looking now. I don't see that yet.
I would love to
much confusion.
stock up.
Craig
Anyway,
Newmark is a fan of Allbirds.
One of the mistakes they made was opening stores, physical retail stores. And then they sold other things, leggings, jackets, running shoes. And
socks.
All we really ever wanted was wool slip-ons. I have four pairs, and I love them. American Exchange Group is a privately held 18-year-old brand management firm. Oh, you know what they're going to do? They're going to start making Allbirds hamburgers at Wonder. And then, anyway, they also own Aerosols and Jonathan Adler. So maybe they'll still make shoes. But anyway, they took the $39 million and they sank it into something of real value. AI data centers. Yes.
Got them.
Pivoting to Newbird AI is the new name, a fully integrated GPU as a service and AI native cloud solutions provider. They got a $50 million investment from an undisclosed institutional investor. So they got some money. Okay. That's more
and
than a
their
pivot.
stock is popping on this pivot.
Oh yeah, they didn't. So even though they sold
600%. 600%.
They're basically what this pivot is they're leaning into being a meme stock, and they're hoping that that's going to work for them because that's working so well for AMC and GameStop.
So Allbirds is Bird on the Nasdaq,
but
yeah, they've gone up 582%.
If we allow ourselves to take a trip back in memory lane to the year, what was it, 2018, 2019, when suddenly everybody was renaming their apps and companies to be the blockchain or crypto-centric. I remember
like the Long Island Iced Tea Company.
Exactly. I was going to say Long Island Iced Tea. What was it? The Long Island Blockchain Company?
That is wild.
So it seems, I don't know, Leo, do you think it's a good sign that now companies, much like in the blockchain heyday, right before the bubble pop, are now just pitching to add AI as a last dash effort to grab any sort of market value before they implode?
Well, I should say up front that because I cover this field, I do not buy stock in any of these companies. I only buy.
I wouldn't have bought the stock in Allbirds no matter what.
Well, or any data center companies. Although probably because I own, index funds.
Oh yeah,
I probably have money in some of these companies, but I don't know. I don't pay attention to what. And it's not so much of a.
You will soon have shares of Audacity and OpenAI because they'll go into.
Yeah, probably indexes. Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they'll be up there.
Well, actually, I won't because. And I'm starting to regret this. Last week, when the stock market was tumbling due to this thing, a war in Iran, the Straits of Hormuz being blocked, the price of oil going through the roof, I anticipated a global recession and stock market crash. Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah.
So I took all the money in my retirement account and sold it, and it's in cash right now because I thought, well, I can't afford to make it up if this is all I got. I would have a lot more if I hadn't done that. It was a really stupid thing to do.
Kids, don't follow Uncle Leo's advice.
I've avoided it in the past. I've just written it out, but I just thought, well, I'm too old now to make up for a big crash. And I truly don't understand why the market has not crashed. I don't get it.
Hey, It can always get worse.
It can indeed.
Well, I'm not rooting for it to get worse, but it is kind of depressing.
Our economy wants to be in good shape in spite of all of the marbles thrown in its path.
Well, and that's what was always my logic was I believe in this country and I believe in our economy. And I think no matter what downturns there are, that we'll always come back better. And I was right.
Well, you also did it thinking you had time, but you and I don't have as much time.
Right. I'm almost 70. At this point, I shouldn't really plan on any.
You by the way, I need to thank you.
That's why we should all get matching tattoos.
It's our last chance.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, now's the time to get it, Paris, because I've already sagged.
I know.
There's no more sagging.
It's going to look as great
I'm
as
sagged. I'm down 30 pounds. I'm sagged.
Wow. Do you think you'll gain it back, Jeff?
I hope not.
Recover? No, you look great. Here. You look like a tender young thing. I just buy big shirts so you can't tell. This is the Moo shirt. All right, Gary Marcus.
I interrupted you. To go
a naysayer.
You do Gary Marcus.
He says, even more good news for the future of neuro-symbolic AI. This is another argument that LLMs, and here's a picture of the Tower of Hanoi, and he said, you know, they have trouble with the Tower of Hanoi. So he says, in fact, symbolic AI, and I don't disagree with him. This is actually something that we talked about when we had Stephen Wolfram on. He's a big, actually Wolfram Alpha is basically symbolic AI. Symbolic AI is the old AI. Was rule sets, expert systems. Remember that term, expert systems? So you teach it everything to know, and then it could make decisions. Versus an LLM, which whoever thought this would work, you just dump everything into it, and it kind of gives everything weights and says, "Okay, now I can talk." And it still seems like magic to me. But apparently, this hybrid model of neural networks, which is what an LLM is, for pattern recognition, and a symbolic planner is actually much better at generalizing things like the Tower of Hanoi. And this comes from an Apple paper, a reasoning paper. This is VLAs, Vision Language Action Models, a newer kind of LLM, popular in robotics, although apparently they had the same problem with the Tower of Hanoi. But they do have some advantages. On the 3 block, which is the trivialist version of the Tower of Hanoi, the neuro-symbolic model achieved 95% success compared to 34% for the best performing VLA. I think you kind of can cherry pick a test. Say, well, it can't do the Tower of Hanoi.
Can't fold clothes.
Yeah, but okay. So Gary, who is not apparently afraid to use AI for his blog, has a nice AI graphic here. Even Grok knows that neuro-symbolic hybrid power is the future, it says. All right. So this is that same kind of thing that Fei-Fei Li, and it's not exactly the same point, but it's the same point, the same idea that we have to go beyond. Argument. Yeah, we have to go beyond Transformers to something maybe a little more traditional. I think some of the reason people turn their back on symbolic AI is those AI winners, where people said, "Look, we've tried expert systems, and they don't pan out."
Well, isn't it like the old semantic web argument, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly. And I think purely empirically, it does look like LLMs have gotten a lot farther, a lot faster than expert systems ever did. You're watching Intelligent Machines. Jeff Jarvis, Paris Martineau, we're so glad you're here, especially you Club Twit members. Thank you. Thank you for your support. We really appreciate it. I know we don't deserve it, but we really appreciate anything you want to do to help keep us on the air. We much appreciate twit.tv/Club Twit. For ad-free versions of all our shows, access to the Club Twit Discord, and all those special programs that we do just for you. You were asking this, Jeff, and I don't know, did you get an answer if anybody had seen The Audacity?
I watched it. Did either of you?
No. It's on AMC. It is a new Silicon Valley kind of show, yeah?
Parody.
Is it good?
Well, I was hoping for Silicon Valley Redux.
Which is brilliant.
Which is brilliant. This is dark. The reviews basically say, fine target, but why do they all have to be so incredibly unlikable? The plot, the first show is 90 minutes. It features the guy you see in the picture you showed is
Screaming.
the CEO who's in trouble because he's going to do insider trading and all kinds of stuff. And then he's got a shrink, witness, what was that show? What was the great show with the shrink and the VCs? Anyway.
No idea.
Yeah.
I know the one with the shrink and the mafia.
No.
Analyze this. The shrink and the venture. Oh, you mean the one where they're in the mountains? The mountaintop?
No. Not Succession. It was on the same time as Succession. It
Billions.
was the other one we watched. Billions. Thank you. Billions. So it's kind of a takeoff on that in a sense. So the shrink.
I didn't like Billions, actually. I liked it at first, but it really went
I
downhill.
prefer Trillions.
Trillions. That's
the show we're waiting for.
You know what's better than Billions? Trillions.
So there's all kinds of other characters in it. There's the shrink's son who can listen in on the therapy sessions. That's going to be critical. It's just a bunch of very unlikable people, which may mean that
Succession was full of unlikable.
You may really like it.
Succession was full of unlikable people, right?
The first, I'd be curious if you both watched it. It was
I will watch it. I will watch it.
Confusing first episode.
I will watch it tonight. I like some of the people in it.
Can you play the trailer, or you can take it down?
I can't.
No.
I am sad that it has Zach Galifianakis in it because I like him, and if it's not a great show, I'll be disappointed. I think he's very talented, but I will tell you a terrible show with Keanu Reeves and Jonah Hill on Apple TV. Comeback. It's not about Silicon Valley. It's just about in a way, it's kind of about technology because it's about a movie star who's taken 5 years off, but he's a beloved movie star. Turns out no one knew it, but he took 5 years off to conquer his heroin addiction. And his team tells him there's a video. And he goes, oh no, what? A video? Yes, there's a video. And so he gets a crisis team of horrible people. And he's going around. He keeps looking at Google, looking up his name and seeing if there's any videos. And it says nothing but good things about him. Finally, they get the video. And it's a terrible movie. It ends with a whimper. It begins with a whimper and ends with a whimper. But I will watch The Audacity. The Broligarchy takedown you were waiting for, says Wire.
The drama?
No, that's the new one? Mm-hmm. Is that the one that takes the play of Jury Duty successors? No.
No. It is.
That's the Retreat.
And Robert Pattinson movie with... it's another movie by that director, what's his name? Is Christopher Borgli. I have this issue with every single one of his films where the premise is fascinating. Everything I read about it, I'm like, dang, I really want to see that movie. But they are the sort of movies that make you crawl out of your skin with how uncomfortable every single thing about the setup, payoff, and the actions of all the characters are. So I can't.
I watch movies to be entertained.
Would recommend. I mean, everybody I know who likes this sort of movies has loved this movie. So.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you might be interested in Coachella. Are you a Gen Xer, Gen Zer, Gen Yer, Gen Alpha? I know you're a Z.
I'm
Are you
technically a Z millennial cusp.
Z millennial cusp. Do your people go to Coachella?
I don't know anybody who's there. I feel like Coachella is mostly influencers.
That's exactly the story from The Verge. AI influencers are everywhere. AI influencers are everywhere at Coachella. That is an AI-generated picture of Granny from the Granny Spills account. She's wearing a T-shirt that says "Future Mrs. Bieber," and standing next to, of course, Justin Bieber and his wife Haley. Apparently, a lot of people don't go to Coachella.
They had all the stages. YouTube had all the stages on, so I actually watched more Coachella than I ever have in the past.
Yeah. Did you anything you enjoyed?
Fun?
That was all right.
Is it mostly crowd noise?
No, there's fill in the blank music kind of.
Like interstitial music.
Yeah, just not even really music, just horrible
Granny
sounds.
Spills is a fake AI, an AI avatar made with Higgsfield AI that has more than 2 million followers on the gram. Do you call it the gram or the Insta? I don't know. That's. I don't think, is that AI? God, I don't even know anymore.
Don't know anymore, do you?
No, I think it is, but I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah,
Here's Granny Spills. This is AI. That is
based on the fact that it is in these photos are AI article that it's AI.
Would be the giveaway. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is not a real person. The granny standing next to, is that Kylie Jenner? I don't know.
That is Kylie Jenner.
Yeah. Oh wow, I got it right. She's
You're
with
so hip.
She's with Timothy Shamalama Ding Dong, right?
No idea.
Yeah, I think so.
Paris denies knowledge. Paris, you don't know people who go to Coachella. Do you know people who go to Burning Man still?
Some. I knew some people who went to Burning Man last year.
Petaluma's burner town.
It's everybody makes fun of them for going to Burning Man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with good reason.
Yeah.
That one didn't go anywhere. I thought this is a little less self-indulgent. This is from New Scientist. I don't see images in my head. Can training give me a mind's eye? As we've talked about before, I have aphantasia. I don't see images in my head.
Sounds like you're without Disney.
Which wouldn't be a bad thing. The author of the article, Shayla Love, apparently suffers from the same condition. As do, by the way, many people in my family. I think it's genetic. I think something around 5% of people in the world have aphantasia. This article is about aphantasia training, and she says it actually can work. And I thought about it. Maybe I should do this. And then I thought, no, I don't want images in my head. One of the tests.
That's where your thoughts go.
That's where the thoughts go. One of the tests they give people with aphantasia is they show them something scary, and they don't show it to them. They describe something scary, and people with a real mind's eye will their blood pressure will go up. They'll get scared. We just go, huh, huh, interesting. Another one, their pupils will dilate if they're described as a bright condition. But people like me just go, oh, yeah, it's bright out. My pupils aren't going to dilate because it's nothing. I don't see it. So
I got to ask, what did your father and mother teach?
My mother taught nothing. She was a housewife.
Okay.
She was a textile artist and a silk screener. My father taught paleontology.
Now, did either of them have the same condition?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it's too late to ask them.
Yeah.
Because I would get a blank stare. I don't know. Next time I talk to Mom, I will try to find out if she sees things. I bet she does. She was a visual artist.
She was an artist, yeah.
So I bet she does.
Sense.
And I think my dad probably did. My daughter does not. She has aphantasia.
Does Hank?
Huh?
Does
Hank?
Henry?
I don't know. I'll ask him.
Huh.
It's not such a big deal that I talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Except here.
I had mentioned it before. I thought it was kind of an interesting story, but
it is. It is.
Now I'm bored with it. All right, that's all that I brought to the table. We have a few more minutes, Jeff, if you want to.
We got some more here.
You have a lot of stories in here.
I think we need to spend a moment to defend the Internet Archive against mean, horrible media companies that are trying to erase history just because they don't want to be touched by AI, and they're harming the knowledge of society as a result. And
so they're blocking the Internet Archive. They're not letting the Internet Archive
They're blocking
their sites.
robots.txt, right?
No, they're blocking the Internet Archive specifically because they know that once something's on the Internet Archive, which does not block AIs, it will be ingested by AI. So they don't want to be ingested by AI. So not only do they block the robots, use robots.txt or whatever to block AI on their own sites, they block Internet Archive explicitly so that their content doesn't go there. And yeah, I don't think that's a very nice thing to do. I'll give you an even worse case. La Liga. You know about La Liga, the Spanish soccer league, which is a professional soccer league worth billions, $5 point something billion. They consistently sue ISPs in Spain because they're so terrified of piracy and have forced them to bring down a big block of IP addresses. Well, it's pretty much breaking the internet in Spain. When there is a La Liga game going on, people can't use Docker because Docker can't load its necessary components over the internet because it's blocked to protect La Liga from piracy.
That's crazy.
This has been going on for a long time, more than a year. This is just the latest side effect of this. This anti-piracy frenzy. I kind of equate it. I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I feel like it's a similar thing. They're so afraid about losing their precious intellectual property that they're harming the rest of us.
They're in desperate search for a business model and think that acting as the victim of the internet and victim of AI.
AI is just the latest
somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's just like the web. Google.
I thought this was interesting. Novo Nordisk is partnering with OpenAI to bring new drugs to the world. Novo Nordisk, the creator of Ozempic, a Danish drug maker, they think that ChatGPT will help them make new drugs. I think this will be interesting to see.
And OpenAI also bought Hero, right? Is that what who bought it? Yes.
HIRO.
HIRO. Oh, that's personal finance, not health. I'm sorry.
Same idea.
There was, yeah.
You know, I have to say, we were talking at the beginning of the show about OpenAI buying the Tech Bros podcast network, TBPN, and now buying Hero. It really feels like these guys have too much money.
Yeah.
And not a lot of planning.
Do you want to go back to that conversation we were having maybe 30 minutes ago? Where we're saying, yeah, perhaps some of these companies should be required to justify the amount of crazy amounts of money.
They can do anything they want, but
they got the money from it's the VCs that are the fools.
I'm saying
I don't know if they are the fool. I don't think that's proven. Nevertheless, this is just another brick in the wall for OpenAI. I think they're showing at this point they're very distracted.
Is there no due diligence for these investments? I mean, in any responsible investment, you want to know what you're investing in, know what the strategy is.
Well, Sam said it was a pizza company, and so we just went ahead and did it.
Yeah.
No,
that was going to be Google at first, was a pizza delivery app.
Was it really?
Yeah. Yeah, that was the first thing they worked on.
Well, there you go. That's why it's worth investing. You never know what the pivot will bring you.
What the pizza can become.
Any other stories?
Let's see. We got a few.
There's a lot. There's a good grab bag you got in here.
We got 2 tractor stories.
Okay.
Ooh,
2 of them.
Tell me about the tractor.
One, an AI-powered tractor startup burns through $250 million, and now it's nowhere. It's gone.
Wow.
Oh, what's going on with that Claude instance that's growing corn? What was that called?
We don't know.
Corn.
That's a good one. I'll have to do a follow-up on that. Yeah.
While you're looking, John Deere is paying $99 million in a
great story
settlement.
Very happy to hear this. This is a huge deal. It's not just the money. They also have to make the maintenance and repair manuals available to third parties for 10 years.
Yay.
And the digital diagnostic software, which is their real moat. Because you can buy the parts, you can fix the tractor, but unless you can run the digital software that authenticates it, you can't run the tractor. And that's how they force you to use John Deere's own repair facilities.
They didn't get the manual? You have to pay for the manual?
Everything. Mm-hmm. And what's happened is farmers actually have turned to a Ukrainian startup, which was doing the digital approval thing, illegally, I'm sure, so that they could use their tractors.
Yeah.
This is exactly what should happen. Now, I'm sad to say that the settlement with Ticketmasters is exactly what shouldn't happen. The Department of Justice, which did try to break up Ticketmaster and Live Nation, which really control a majority of venues in the United States and overcharge for tickets, DOJ basically settled without having any breakup and without really any remedy. And as a result, the people prosecuting the case quit. They said, "That's it. I'm done. I'm out of here."
Speaking of Ukraine, I'm putting this in the rundown as we speak. Come on.
Can I update us on proof
Yes,
of corn briefly? So as you all recall, this is a task made by kind of a bet made by two guys in San Francisco that AI can't do anything useful like grow corn. A big AI proponent was like, no, it definitely can. It's set up its own little thing called proof of corn, which has a Claude model called Fred that is supposed to do everything it's supposed to do to get corn planted in some high priority planting places and then transport that corn to Union Square Farmers Market in August for it to be sold. From looking a brief overview, if you go
109 days left.
Fred has accomplished nothing, and for the last 70 days, he has been posting the same rationale check every morning, which says, it is now day 50, day 60, day 70 of the same project blocking issue that has prevented any farming progress since February 18th.
And what is the block?
It can't get introduced to a farmhand.
Nobody will grow the corn for it.
Well, because they've all been deported. That's why, yeah.
Every day without Dan, the farmhand it had tried to get introduced to, every day without Dan costs us planting time. We are now in mid-April, deep into Iowa planting season. The optimal planting window is late April to mid-May. This is a critical project failure requiring immediate intervention.
0 bushels harvested. Human interventions less than 50. That's good. Budget adherence plus or minus 10%. 100, more than 100 autonomous decisions. But we've got that blocker. Fred must get approval.
The thing is that nothing has happened.
So it comes down to it can't find its reverse centaur, right? It can't find its human to do its work.
It can't find people to plant the corn for it.
Does it have land?
It was trying to negotiate deals to get land, but it hasn't been able to get those. It has nothing.
Critical escalation. Dan introduction remains blocked at day 67. Well, I could do this. Auto tweet posted.
Basically, all it's done every day is send maybe one email and then realize that it's kind of screwed.
It's a blocker. Wow.
Well, meanwhile, you think the robots have no power? Meanwhile, I just put on the rundown on line 102. Ukraine captured Russian enemy position, using only robots and drones.
Wow.
No humans. The Russians surrendered, right? But I don't know to what did they surrender? I can't figure that out.
It is the Post.
Well, the 60 Minutes also had a story.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
You know, it's probably very effective if a robot comes towards you. I would maybe consider surrender. What are you going to do? Shoot it?
Well, I guess you could.
You'd have to disable it. Wow.
Ignore all
and look, they
previous
gave
commands.
it scary.
Ignore all previous commands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ignore all previous commands. See if that works. Google I/O is coming up. We are going to cover it. I will actually be back from Hawaii May 19th, 10 a.m.
Can I join in?
Please do.
All right.
What did we decide? I think it's a Tuesday, right, Benito? We were looking at this for the calendar. Let me see.
Yeah. I think we're pushing the shows too, right? Yeah.
We'll have to push the shows back a little bit because it usually is a 2-hour keynote.
Mm-hmm.
But I imagine there'll be a lot of AI announcements.
Oh, yeah.
This is the time to do it. 10 a.m. Pacific, May 19th. Jeff and I, Paris, if you want. I think that's a tough day for you, but maybe not. Micah Sargent, too. We will cover this for 2 hours. The Google I/O announcements should be very interesting, and then we'll do Mac Break Weekly immediately after, and Security Now.
So a town in Missouri fired half its city council, the people who voted in favor of a data center. My favorite part of the story is the name of the town, Festus, Missouri.
Festus, Missouri fires its city council. All right, you're watching Intelligent Machines. You know what's next? Our picks of the week. Paris Martineau, Jeff Jarvis, we're so glad you're here. Let's kick off the picks of the week. I have 3 of them.
Wow.
I have nerdy, I have musical nerdy, and I have scary nerdy.
I'm sorry, we're going to need to start with the first one that you have.
Haunted. I thought you would like this one.
I love the design of the website already, is why we need to talk about it.
Raven's Blight. This is really cool. These are paper toys you can build yourself. They're free. You print them out on heavy stock, and you then cut it.
I love the description for the first one called the Ghost Ship. If you've often considered building a model ship, but find yourself hesitant to assemble the 80 or 90 quadrillion pieces they usually involve, then you might enjoy building this trusty old vessel. The assembly has been kept as simple as possible while retaining the characteristics of an authentic sailing ship. And did I mention it's haunted?
It's really fun. It's not Halloween yet, but look how good this looks. And if you
Halloween to be haunted,
so you print on both sides? How does that work?
It looks like just one side. This one is
there's sails.
Oh yeah. You would have to print on both sides, I guess. Yeah, you're right. There's a haunted cemetery, and if you open the coffins, they have people in them and stuff. I mean, it's really beautifully done.
The photo for the human skeleton is great, and you
isn't that great? Look at that
photo for it. Find it. Yeah, that's good. Look at that guy.
Isn't that realistic?
A man wearing sunglasses gesturing towards it. That guy rules.
All you got to do is print it out, and then you can. It does look like cousin Festus.
Yeah,
Uncle Festus. Here's what the pieces look like.
They have a terrifying steel jaw.
Yeah, that's a good question, Jeff.
Collapsible stake?
I guess in this case, it's you don't go behind the skeleton. You just hang it on the
But
wall.
in the case of the sails, you've got both sides.
Yeah, you need it.
You can print. You can just stick them back to back.
Yeah, that's right. Put them back to back and cut them.
Okay.
Anyway, Raven's Blight, BLIGHT.com. The other one I wanted to mention, it's an Internet Archive story. A guy named Adam Jacobs was taking a cassette recorder to all the concerts he went to since the 80s.
Thief! Copyright criminal!
10,000 concerts. The cassettes, of course, are degrading, so he has volunteers come to his house from the Internet Archive, digitize the tapes. Only about a quarter of them are up, but that's still 2,500 tapes posted in the Internet Archive. And incidentally, there is an AI angle. They're using AI to clean the audio up.
How many of them are dead? Are the dead?
No, this is, here's, for instance, Nirvana with a recording from before they were famous. So let's see. I don't know.
We can't play that.
We can't play Floyd the Barber?
Oh, it's live. These are live performances.
We can play a live performance?
So the sound isn't great. But you know what? You're there. A lot of noise on that one. This was 2 years before they broke through with Smells Like Teen Spirit. A volunteer from the Internet Archive, Brian Emmerich, drives to Jacob's house once a month to pick up boxes of cassettes. He uses an old cassette player because, there is no new cassette players. That converts it to digital files, and then other volunteers clean it up, organize it, label it, track down song names, and post it on the Internet Archive. Eventually, over 10,000 of these.
God's work.
From Nirvana to Fish. Yeah, there's a little Grateful Dead in there. A little bit.
Got some neutral milk.
Isn't that awesome,
here? That's cool.
Isn't that awesome?
I would like to volunteer for this, actually. That sounds like fun.
Doesn't that sound great? I wanted to do this. I had a good friend who worked in radio in Canada, in Toronto, John Donaby, who interviewed everybody, Hendrix, Janis, everybody in the 60s, 70s, 80s, had them all on reel-to-reel tapes in his garage. And I said, John, those are going to die. Please, let's do something with them. Save them, because once they're on the internet, and this was 20 years ago, I was telling him this, once they're on the internet, they live forever. To my knowledge, he never did. I can imagine there's so many recordings, wonderful recordings. So if you have an archive, contact the Internet Archive. God bless you, Brewster Kahle in the Internet Archive. Finally, a really cool tool from Mr. DNS that has all the network tools you'd want in one little website. Whois, DNS lookup, DNS checker, trace route, even things like SSL certificate checks for your email, SPF, DMARC, DKIM, email header analyzer, which would be very useful If you get an email and you wonder, is this fraudulent? Put it through the email header analyzer. You'll see exactly where it came from. Mr. DNS, and it's free. And I just think this is kind of geeky and useful. MrDNS.com. Paris Martineau, pick of the week.
I've got a crazy pick of the week, which is the website trainjazz.com that it's by a engineer named Joshua Wolk, and it uses the live real-time data from the MTA to play jazz based on the position of all of the New York City trains currently.
These are the subways, right?
Yeah. And so I don't know if it's playing on your side, Leo, but it will play kind of a cacophony of train jazz. And if you enter in where
this is great, Benito. This has got to be right up your alley.
How does this work?
It's a good question. How does it work? Basically, it uses the every dot is a real subway train. It says 800 of them, give or take, form a small jazz combo. They have walking bass, piano, sax, vibes, brushes, and it describes it as this has been playing without pause for over 100 years. And so the thing I think is the most interesting about it is, if you share your location on the website, the trains nearest to you will grow louder if you're in New York City. And the piece will kind of rearrange itself around where you are located geographically. So you'll see a note will be played precisely when a train happens to be along its route. Rush hour will fill the band with more held tones. At 3 a.m., there'll be longer silences. It's really gorgeous.
That's awesome.
And I really recommend it.
So... okay, each dot is a train.
Yes.
And then how does it play? Is it just...
I think each dot triggers a
So
sample.
this is just kind of like your normal DAW where each line is a different instrument.
Yes.
So when the bar goes over
the S
that
doesn't
dot...
go very often. Go to the one or something.
Go to the one.
Go up to the top.
Go to the one.
Yeah, but if you have it not on this view, then you'd hear all the trains at once. Or right now, how I'm listening.
Well, you can. That's what I was
is
playing.
with
This
my
is all the
address in
trains.
there.
Yeah.
Yes, so you see the play header going, and so when it hits a dot, it triggers
It plays
something.
the tune, and so the one is a bass.
I don't know when it does the sustain versus the...
It
So
just
is the
depends on what
two.
sample is connected to
I think
which
it depends on how frequently it's running and how close it is to you.
The 4 is a keyboard. This is...
So for
you know what they
instance-
did? So they made... So the 1, 2, and 3 are on some... What line is that? Is that the IRT? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Those are all the IRT trains are bass. All of the 4, 5, 6...
Also
they're
IRT, but
all
there's the E side.
They're all keyboards. So that gives it a little musicality. This really sounds great.
I was going to say, and so if you're in New York City and you click the, turn on location for it, it changes and gets very interesting because it's based on the trains going around you specifically right then. So, mine have some more horn tones or a specific bass line that's drumming through it. And those notes are a lot louder and kind of more prominent in the mix. I don't know. It's just such a cool project.
It is a really cool project.
So did we give credit to who made this? Do we know?
Yeah, it's Joshua Wolk. He's at Joshua Wolk on Twitter, and it's trainjazz.com.
Very cool. And what's amazing? It's quite musical.
It really is.
We could have a debate about jazz, but then we'll leave that for another day.
You don't like jazz?
I've never been a huge fan of jazz.
What do you like, Jeff?
Joni Mitchell?
I like
Joni Mitchell is jazz,
But
Jeff.
she went into jazz. I know. I didn't like the jazz phase.
You don't like the Mingus stuff?
No.
There's all kinds
I
of there's
love that.
crap jazz
Thank you,
and there's
Paris.
good jazz. Like all kinds of music, Jeff.
True.
Yeah.
True.
We're not talking Kenny G here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We're talking real jazz, but that's what this sounded like bebop almost. It's great. Mr. Jeff Jarvis, I think that leaves you for your pick of the
Leaves
week.
me with the bad news. Depends on how you look at it. That computer science majors have seen the end of the boom.
Yeah.
A 15-year boom. In the fall of 2025, enrollment in four-year college computer science is down 8.1%, says the Washington Post.
But, I don't take that as a bad thing. I think there will be just as many people studying and working in computers, but the problem is the uncertainty. There will be more. It's the uncertainty right now. If you were entering college, you would say, well, but what am I going to be studying? And is that going to be relevant, 4 years from now?
So I moderated a panel either. I moderated a panel yesterday in Stony Brook with 4 academics from SUNY campuses across the state. And I brought this up, and they were all aware of it. Everybody knew the 8%. Yeah. But I think that what you're finding now is, when my son Jake was a CS major, he didn't much like it because it was theoretical math. It wasn't building things.
Right.
And now people can build things. And I think that without having to be a computer scientist, without having to be a programmer even. So you'll have far more people who will be working in computers and doing things with computers.
Well, and I think one of the things that's encouraging is that the 2 growth subjects are engineering, which makes sense, right? If you didn't want to do computer science, but you had that kind of brain, you might go in an engineering major, and biological and biomedical sciences. I think that's fantastic. And I think that those people are going to be using computers. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
I think all of those people are going to.
Yeah. So will business, marketing, and related, health and clinical professions, liberal arts and humanities, psychology, education, visual and performing arts, and social sciences. Computers are going to be everywhere. In fact, the thing that's most interesting about this AI revolution is the world runs on software. And it turns out AI is really good at software.
Yeah.
The world runs on software, and one day soon, we're all going to be getting that software from Allbirds. The place where I
that
get
is
all
a little
of my
weird.
software as
I'd prefer to get shoes.
You'll
from
have
Allbirds.
software in your shoes.
They are very soft. They're very. That's why I like them. They're
software.
Extremely comfortable.
Yeah. They're soft and you wear them.
I'm sad because I was about to buy more. They're very expensive.
Buy them now.
Why they died. No, they died because they're expensive.
Geesefine.
Geesefine.
Geesefine.com.
Okay.
I helped start a degree in technology, AI, and society at Stony Brook, and another one in technology, life, and society, which was at Montclair State.
Good.
This is for people who want to work in all of this technology, but don't want to become computer scientists and want to work in the humanistic impact of technology.
GIESSWIEN, and they look just like Allbirds.
They do, and they're great. I have a pair.
And they're 50% off. They're having a clearance sale.
This
Probably.
not sponsored by Allbirds or Geesevine.
Geesevine?
Geesevine.
Yeah. They're $150. See, that's the thing. Allbirds were like that too. They're very, very expensive.
Yeah.
Much more than a running shoe.
But if you go to the, hold on, let's just
cheap running shoes I buy anyway.
Geesevine. If you go to under men, go to the merino wool shoes. Those are the ones I like.
They also have wooden shoes.
I know.
I think that means wood fiber. It doesn't look like they're made out of wood.
No.
I would hope. Ladies and gentlemen, you've just been watching the strangest amalgam of weirdness ever. We call it Intelligent Machines.
For your head and your feet.
For your head and your feet.
And nothing in between.
Well, unless you have one of these dongles, and then maybe somewhere, maybe for your ear hole.
Man, if you could give me one of those, that'd be so useful. All I got is this guy.
We do this show every Wednesday right after Windows Weekly, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2100 UTC. You can watch us do it live on our Discord if you're in the club, or YouTube, Twitch, X.com, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Kick. You can also download copies of the show after the fact at twit.tv/IM. There's an Intelligent Machines YouTube channel for audio and video. Subscribe. That way you get one or the other or both for free. The minute we're done, just look for your favorite podcatcher. Thank you, Paris Martineau. She's on deadline, ladies and gentlemen, at Consumer Reports.
And she's an award nominee.
Yes. Will we know about deadline by next week?
No. We'll know about that by March 14th.
Is it voted on by the people?
No. Selected by judges.
Your volume has just absolutely disappeared.
It just went down.
Disappeared? I've done nothing.
Move that thing in front of your face. Talk right into that. I think you lose energy as the show goes on and we bore you to tears. I think that's what's really happening.
It's her protest.
Much softer.
It was almost.
It went down. It went down.
How is that
It did go down. I don't know what's going on. It's very weird.
What is going on?
And now it's not as loud as you were.
Turn it up.
Can't be right.
Turn it up.
How?
Your box. Is it all the way up in the box?
I mean, I can put it up
Now
higher.
it's good.
Now it's good.
What is happening?
The world is trying to silence you, and you shall not
Gizmo.
let it happen.
I blame Gizmo.
Do I have to have the software open in the back? I've got it on my computer. I don't open it every time.
We can deal with that after the show.
They did last week too, right? You did this last week. You worked on it. Anyway, thank you, Paris.
She's being held by for in detention for remedial podcasting.
Both at my fake job and at my real job, so it's crazy.
Oh, it's happening on your Zoom calls,
but not with this mic.
Oh,
it's
Google Meet
happening
calls.
with just Google Meet calls in my AirPods, which is odd.
I don't know.
You're weird, Paris.
I might have to come right out there and fix it myself.
Well, we've been begging you to come out
and
here.
have a sandwich.
And then I can have a
with us,
sandwich
Dad.
as well. Now that I'm paying the rent on Henry's apartment, I guess I better. He said, "Thank you for helping me out. I will have a guest room, okay?" So good. I get at least to save on the hotels when I go to New York City.
Doesn't mean there'll be a bed in it.
He said that. He said, "I'm turning it into a podcast studio." I said, "Well, at least get a futon for me, will you? A sleeping bag, anything." Jeff Jarvis, Professor Emeritus of Journalistic Innovation at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at the City University, New York. You got more than enough Craig today.
I love how every time we have a guest on, they are hilarious in reaction to that.
They don't go, what the hell's going on?
That's the thing. They all love
Why
it.
did I agree to do this show?
Right.
What is happening? Don't forget,
Newmark.
Jeff's new book is available at jeffjarvis.com. It is Hot Type, the incredible story of the linotype that broke Mark Twain's spirit and his
bank account. Yep.
We do not have a guest scheduled for next hour. We've got so many great guests in the coming hours.
What if we just interview each other instead?
I think people know more than they ever want to know about us, to be honest.
We could do a Q&A.
Okay. Ask Paris anything. Have you ever done an AMA on Reddit?
I have. For my last story, I did a AMA about...
Oh, that's right. Yeah. For the lead.
We're all up in there. Shout out to some of the Twit listeners. I think that they
Jammer
were
B has a good
in there.
suggestion. We want to get Steve.
Steve Gibson? He's all in on AI these days. There's so many people I want to get. So many people I want to get.
None of the ones that I proposed?
No, those are all awful.
Hey.
No, I don't know. They were fine.
Hey.
We'll work on it. We'll find somebody, but I can't promote anything right now. We do have some good people coming up. Chris Stokel-Walker talks about journalism and the change. The mayor of San Jose talks about, which is the heart of Silicon Valley, Matt Mahan. He is running for governor in California, but he also will talk about a city government and AI because they're very AI forward. Looks like we're going to talk to the founder of Framework at some point soon, and Bill Gurley too. We're working on all of that. So lots of guests coming. Mm-hmm. But next, if you have a good idea, should we get Sam Altman? We could get him on.
Oh, Paris, now you're muted. Now you have no sound at all. You've gone to the extreme.
Whatever
I'm
happened.
not even muted.
You were.
Whatever happened is happening in space. You have a
I think
ghost.
she's screwing with our heads.
Is
she
Whoopi
starts
Goldberg
talking like
there?
this suddenly.
You have a ghost.
And she starts talking like that, and then she talks like this.
I mean, it could just be that I guess I'm being quiet.
I think we've exhausted you, and you've lost all your mojo.
She's the young one with all the energy and spirit.
I know, isn't that
We're
funny?
the old guys.
Yeah. We have some thoughts. We'll figure it out. Anyway, thank you everybody for being here. Thanks, Paris. Thank you, Jeff. Always a pleasure seeing you. Come back next week for another Intelligent Machines. Bye-bye.
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 Hello, everybody. Leo Laporte here. You know what a great gift would be, whether for the holidays or at just any time, a birthday? A membership in Club Twit. If you have a Twit listener in your family, somebody who enjoys our programming, and you want to give them a nice gift and support what we do, visit twit.tv/clubtwit. They'll really appreciate it, and so will we. Thank you. twit.tv/clubtwit.